Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualized, My Asexual Life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find the content useful, helpful, insightful, or entertaining in any way, shape, or form. Or you just want to give this channel some love. It really does help me out and helps to raise awareness of asexuality. If you didn't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity. Also the founder of asexualise.com and the founder of Asexualise Academy. Welcome to tonight's episode. So I've got a brilliant episode for you tonight, which is all about how to tell if a guy is being genuine. So how do you know if a guy is being genuine? How do you know if a guy could be in a relationship with an asexual person despite being sexual themselves? So how can a sexual be with an asexual? What are the signs that the guy you were talking to is genuine? I say guy because I'm not attracted to women whatsoever, so I mostly end up obviously talking to guys, and certainly in terms of a potential relationship, I just talk to guys. I mean, I do sometimes get women interested in me, but I'm not interested in, you know what I mean? I tell them that. So I'm talking about guys, but you know, this equally applies to any sexual person. But how do you specifically know that a guy is being genuine and a sexual guy could possibly actually really be in a sex-free monogamous relationship with an asexual person? What are the signs that this might be possible? So I told you that recently I've been in sexual dating groups on Facebook. So I still run 3 of my own asexual dating groups. I'm still on asexual dating sites, and I haven't found the right asexual guy for me to be in a relationship with, right? I've been on asexual dating sites now since 2014. And as you probably know, if you do the same thing, you keep getting the same result, you know? So you shouldn't. Hi, Ray. Lovely to see you. Thanks for being here. So as if you know this saying, you know, if you keep doing the same thing, you'll keep getting the same result, right? And it's true. It's like banging your head against a brick wall, right? If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you keep getting the same result. So after being on asexual dating sites for 5 years, it'll be nearly 6 years in kind of like, you know, partway through next year, you know, it'll be like yeah, but you know, because we're 2019 now, going to 2020. I've been on asexual dating sites since last you know, like what I was saying last year, since 2014. I think it was May, something like that. I joined one of the asexual dating sites. So you know, if you keep doing the same thing, you keep getting the same results. So I thought I will try and see who is in the sexual dating groups on Facebook. So I joined 3 of them. I actually met Ray through the one I'm going to talk about, which is the UK singles group. Ray is in fact asexual, didn't realise asexuality and us not existed. So Ray is a really good friend now and really supports me on this channel. He's an amazing person, and I think he's absolutely fantastic. Great with animals, great with people, lovely guy. He happens to be a then you me a nut. What's then you me a nut? I'm not quite sure what that means, Ray. Then you me a nut. Do you mean we're both nuts? I already know that. I love nuts, but not me a nut. Met a nut. Oh, then you met a nut. Oh, bless you. When we're 2 nuts of the same shell, not quite, but as friends only. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, this UK singles group, I've mentioned it before. There's like I think there's like 3,800 something people in there, right? And I get a lot of people who are sexual in there, right? I got one guy, I'm not kidding you. I mean, I was absolutely like, oh my God, right? He was disgusting. I'm sure. Oh, hi Sam, nice to have you on here. I'm sure, like, so I've had good experiences and bad experiences of being in this group, but the good experience has been tonight, which are what I'm going to tell you about, right? So, but I want to tell you the bad experience today. I mean, I get quite a few of them, as in terms of like, people just wanting sex. But this guy, right? Like I told you, because I talk about asexuality, and I'm in that group, and my post goes to the top quite a lot because people are startled about, God, there's someone in the group doesn't want sex. They can't get over it. So I'm really doing asexuality a favor by being in this group in front of 3,800 people, because, I get to the top a lot in the post because people keep commenting on it. Sometimes it's negative, sometimes it's positive, but it all raises me up in the group setting. So people take notice, and I know eventually there'll probably be maybe a guy in that group that is suitable for me, right? Because I keep getting high up there, and 1% of the population, so that's 1 in every 100. If you think there's 3,800 people in that group, potentially there's like 38 people that could be asexual in that group. Ray was one of them. There was another guy that was asexual. But there could possibly be a sexual person that could live without sex, because like we had the guy on last night, Eddie, didn't we? And he is not asexual, but he said he's with an asexual in a relationship, the best relationship he's ever had, pure love, right? So I think if sexuals can see the benefits of being with an asexual person, then they really can live without sex. It is possible. And I think it's important to know that what you believe to be true becomes true. What you believe is a reality becomes reality. So therefore, if you keep thinking about something for so long, keep thinking you're going to do that, you'll eventually do it. Like, for example, when I spoke at the UK Asexuality Conference last year in July, I always wanted to speak in London. I still want to speak on a full stage in London. I still have ambitions to be a speaker. For example, at the Excel Centre, which I don't really talk to you guys about, and girls, whatever gender, I just say guys, it's a general thing. I don't really say that, but my one of my ambitions is to speak on the Excel Centre stage. But I have spoke in London now. I spoke at the UK Sexuality Conference, so that was a dream come true. I want that for a couple of years. So that came to a reality. So do you see what I mean? What we think about, we can achieve. Like, if you believe that there is a heterosexual, for example, or a sexual person, homosexual, it could be any sexual, that could live with you in a loving, healthy, happy relationship without sex. If you really believe that, then I believe that you can get it, because I think you can get anything you want to in life so long as you believe it, right? I just really believe that myself, right? And anyway, so this is an example of a guy in the group that clearly didn't listen to my profile, when I say listen to my words in the profile, didn't read it. And I think I've seen this guy before, and I thought I'd already blocked him before, but maybe he's in one of the other groups, or maybe he just got a different name or something. I don't know. Or maybe I just came across his profile, he didn't actually message me. But then, it's disgusting. He goes, "Hi there. Hey, and if we meet," literally, seriously, like this. Like, seriously, this is a guy. Look, I don't know if you can see that, but he's messaging me this stuff straight away, and it's all in the same breath. Hi there, hey, and if we meet, we'll meet. Hi there, hey, and if we will meet, I want sex. I love sex and kissing. Want to start something? ? Tell me. I am very interested in romance and sex in all the ways. I like you. Send me more pictures with you. In 2 weeks, I am in the UK. I just put, hi, I just replied to you because I replied in the actual group to him. I don't like sex. I'm not interested in that. Or marriage or kids. No, and blocked, But that guy I've spoken to before, because before he said he was in the UK, coming to the UK, I remember having a conversation with him. But this profile of his is not in here. But I remember, I might have asked him publicly in a group. I'm not sure. I might have asked him publicly in a group, and he might have said, never mind, and not actually private messaged me. Because I remember asking him, whenever they say, I'm coming into the UK in 2 weeks' time, it's like, you said that about 2 weeks ago. It's a blatant lie, They're just literally trying to get someone. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not being funny, but what sexual woman even wants a guy who speaks to her like that? Oh, by the way, I'm coming to the UK in 2 weeks. I'll be wanting sex with you. Like, most sexual women even would be put off by that. Do you know what I mean? They just would think, what a dickhead, literally. You know what I mean? To speak to them like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just disgusting. But yeah, so that was a bad experience, right? But I had a really good experience in this group today, and there was a nice sexual guy who messaged me, and he seemed really genuine, and he asked if he could call me like via Facebook Messenger on the phone, you know, the audio side of it. And I said, yeah, and we were talking for like over an hour and a half, and he actually seems a really decent guy. He seems a genuine person. He's got his own YouTube channel, which obviously helps because I can see what he's like when he talks. He's vegan. He's really into helping animals. He's an activist for veganism. He sings songs, does rapping, makes music together, and he's really into entrepreneurship and business. So he was saying, like, we have quite a lot in common. So when he was talking to me, you know, that the sign was, you know, that he possibly could be with an asexual person. He wasn't talking about sex, and he took a great deep interest in me speaking to him about asexuality. He really wanted to know the full details as much as possible, like how I found out I was asexual, when I found out I was asexual, what asexuality actually means, what different types of asexuals they are. So this is a guy that has potential to possibly be in a relationship with an asexual person, because he's obviously, I did ask him that at the beginning, you know, so I'm not going to go into everything obviously because it's you know, it's between me and him, but I just thought it's really nice to say that, you know, these are some of the signs that he's genuine. He came in, people are just copying me. Hi Eddie, nice to see you. I just thought it's amazing that when you were on my he didn't know about this channel, so he has subscribed. I've subscribed to him as well because I want to support him, you know, because he is an entrepreneur like me and he needs supporting. I know I've come into his life to support him. He really needs the support, you know, the moral and the belief in him. I really believe that, you know. I hope we continue to speak because he seems a decent guy. But yeah, I thought that, Eddie, I thought this is really good because it's law of attraction though, isn't it? Once one sexual guy says they could be without a sexual relationship, it's possible for other sexual guys to come forward. So yeah, so he wrote me this really nice message. He said he came across my profile in the UK singles group. Hopefully he'll match what I'm looking for. He just turned 29 this month. He's born and raised in the UK. He actually lives in London, which I told you, like, if my guy's not in Exeter, he'll be in London because I love London. And so he said, I love foreplay and kissing more than sex. I am a very passionate person. So he did, you know, he didn't lie. He said that he liked foreplay and sex, but foreplay and kissing more than sex. I love foreplay and kissing more than sex. I'm a very passionate person. I love learning and gaining knowledge. He's into air health, and he wanted to know more. It asked me if there's anything else I'd like to know about him, and he'd love to hear more about me. And he's had a platonic relationship before, so I was really, really, really interested in this, right? Really interested in this. So I said, thank you very much for your message. I'm really interested to know why a sex-free forever relationship would interest you, especially when it's so easy to get sex. Are you looking for a monogamous sex-free relationship forever, or are you just looking for dating a girl and kissing? In other words, what are your long-term intentions and goals? You know, because the last guy that I was interested in, to be honest, I felt like he just needed someone like friends with kissing benefits. I began to feel like that with him. Do you know what I mean? And he was just too sexual, I think, for me, and he wasn't good in the end, you know. So, you know, I really wanted to know with this guy, like, you know, because I've had other guys on here that I kind of think are just looking for someone who's into just kissing them for a bit because they just like to be kissed. Which, you know, it's nice because I like kissing, but that's not, you know, as I found out recently, that's not really what I want. To focus on the kissing, although it's really important to me. I don't want to be focusing on that with the guy in the beginning. I want to be focusing on being best friends with him, like, or trying to be really good friends with him. Obviously, he's not going to be a best friend to me straight away, and I've obviously got my best friends. So I don't. Mine was good and productive. Hope yours was lovely too. Oh, you're talking about days. Oh, hi, John. Nice to see you as well. Thanks for being here. So he asked me about me, and I said I'm an author with my own publishing imprint and super creative. Writing is my hugest passion. I have an online chat show dedicated to people like myself who are asexual. I write books for asexuals and currently working on my second book for them. We'll start back work on it on the 6th of January and currently finishing off an online course. And I said that I was doing a slight rebrand. I don't know if you've noticed, but on my YouTube channel, on my asexualized Facebook page, it now says what this channel's all about more, which is obviously I cover asexuality, but I do a lot of mindset stuff, spirituality stuff, dating and relationships is what I'm really talking about, like why I'm doing this video today. And I do a lot of self-love and personal growth videos as well, so it's quite a combination of stuff. But I wanted to give you the signs of what what you look for someone being genuine. So this guy, one of the things that struck me as being genuine about him is he said that he's not being, first of all, he's not being really cocky in the beginning, right? He's not saying I think I'm what you're looking for. He's saying I hope I match what you're looking for. So that's more of a case like he really is potentially happy, he's really hopeful that me and him might be suitable. He's not being cocky and arrogant. To come on who's really cocky and arrogant and full on, a lot of the time they're just so full of themselves that they're just not being genuine. Like Eddie said yesterday, they're usually laying not thick, and you don't want to be with a guy like that, right? Obviously he's just turned 29, so he's the latter end of the 20s, which is good, because a person who's like, I know I like younger guys, I know I go for 21 to 24-year-olds quite a lot, but it's really important really to have someone who's a bit older, because they know what they want more. They more tend to be on their purpose and stuff like that, which I'll talk about more later on. So the fact that they said they prefer other stuff to sex is some people do actually prefer that, so that's really good. Obviously you have to be aware, is that the truth? But if we're taking them at face value, then it can be the truth. Some people do prefer that, right? This person did say they've been in a platonic relationship before. They were very, very specific about that, right? And Eddie, I'm playful and rather charming at times. Ray, I'm older. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You guys are too old for me. But you're lovely people, so but yeah, this is really good. But so the fact they said they're into health, they said they're into gaining knowledge, those interest me. They're not talking about superficial stuff. This person's talking about stuff that actually shows me they're probably going to be a bit intelligent if they're looking for gaining knowledge and things, right? So this was just in the text. This is before I actually talked to them. And then I said about I'm out to the world about being asexual, and a guy's got to be cool and supportive about that, not just privately but public too. And I'm looking for a romantic relationship rather than a platonic one. See, when he said platonic, I consider a platonic relationship not to be a romantic one, but to be someone who, like what I say is here, to me, platonic means no kissing, just a deep best friendship. Whereas I'm looking for a romantic life partner, soulmate, and best friend all in one, not just a platonic friend. I want a faithful monogamous relationship. And then I said what I do and don't like in terms of touching. And I said, what happened to the platonic relationship you had before? And they've clearly got some foreign origin about them, so I wanted to know about that. So they said they thought platonic relationship meant a non-sexual relationship, and they were with a girl before, which included kissing and romance but no sexual intercourse. She said she wasn't ready for sex, so he respected that because he loved her and didn't basically push her for that. But then she went off with a guy behind his back, which I think is really horrible, But it's very interesting, that, do you know what I mean? But this seemed very interesting. So in answer to why do you want a sex-free relationship, because obviously why would a sexual guy want a sex-free relationship? You have to ask that, right? Especially in that type of dating group, because that is a highly sexual dating group, right? The majority of guys that message me in there, they're highly sexual, right? A lot of them are abroad wanting visas, but the ones that aren't in the UK, they're really into sex. You can just tell by the stuff they say. So this person seemed like genuine when I spoke to them on the voice thing as well, which is really what you have to get from the stage of messaging to voice or video chat, because then you can see that I haven't done video chat with them yet, but you can see their eyes and stuff like that, but you can hear their voice. It's a lot better to make more make your mind up. Obviously everything takes time. That's what I'd say. It doesn't matter what I'm saying tonight, everything takes time. These are signs that this guy is genuine. but everything takes time, you know. It's very easy to be fooled these days, and you don't want that. It's very easy for someone to come along and say blah blah blah, but another thing about meaning it is, you know, harder, you know. So you've got to see over a period of time consistency and persistency, you know, because I don't want to be chasing a guy. I still want him to pursue me, even though I'm asexual. But I've got a feeling he might be the type of guy that just needs to be told, I do like to be messaged and pursued, despite the fact of being asexual. I might need to tell him that, because he was very cautious about things, which is another good thing. I thought, you know, he kind of like has got that cautious element about him, that he doesn't want to overstep the mark with me. So I thought that was really nice. When I was speaking to him, I got that impression from him. So I like Guy, you know, he's not being cocky and arrogant. He's being more cautious and considerate and interested, genuinely. So I asked him, and he said, the reason a sex-free relationship would interest me is because, like you say, sex is easy to get. I feel love is deeper than sex. I find most of our society sex crazy. I am looking for a partner and romance too, but I want someone who is special and someone who is not sex crazy. I have been learning a lot about many ancient beliefs and how semen retention has many benefits. Because obviously this guy is not asexual. He's not asexual. He's made that clear to me, right? So he's not pretending to be something he's not, right? Which is another benefit of finding out whether the guy's genuine or not, right? Or the person, you know, if the person's not genuine, they will pretend to be asexual. They'll pretend not to like sex, you know, like the last guy that I kissed in the club, the Bangladeshi guy that I don't speak to anymore, that was messaging me for a week, wanting to see me again. He was lying, saying I don't have alcohol and I don't have sex. When I talked to him on video chat, he goes, yeah, I love sex, but I prefer kissing. But he, you know, it's very different. If he just said, yeah, I like, you know, I do enjoy sex, but I prefer the kissing, first of all, it'd be different. But no, he didn't. He said, I've even got in writing still from him that I don't like sex. You know, it's a very big difference. So this guy's not pretending. He's not saying rubbish to me. Do you know what I mean? So and when he said about ancient beliefs about how semen retention has many benefits, I've actually spoke to Indian sexual guys before, and they have decided that it might be better to lead more of an asexual life. Obviously they can't become asexual, but you know, and some asexuals will really like, you know, like frown upon any sexual person saying this, because you can't, you know, you're not asexual. But in the sense that you know, a sexual person isn't asexual, but you know, in other words, leading the more celibate life, the sex-free life. You know, some there is people who are very spiritual, very into meditation, very into that kind of way. They do have, there is, I've been told even by Indian guys before, there is some ancient beliefs about, you know, about ejaculation and stuff like that. Sorry if you're squeamish. But about the fact that when you lose sperm, you lose energy. I don't actually think it's true personally, but if the guy believes that, he believes that, you know. But, you know, I have heard that, you know, it can lower your energy. I guess if you're doing it too much, then it would. Do you know what I mean? Like if you do anything too much in excess, it probably would anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like some people, John, hi. Like some people who are addicted to masturbation, for example, that's going to drain their energy, right? So, do you know what I'm saying? So I know, but when he's talking about that, I know that is a genuine thing that I've heard other people talking about. It might be weird to some people who don't know about that, but I have heard of that it's meant to zap your energy. So therefore they like to retain those bodily fluids and bodily things so they don't, you know, get rid of their energy, because this guy is into health. So I can imagine him understanding that. Mum said everything in moderation. Yeah, unless you don't want it. Because obviously some things you're not going to want in life. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want sex ever again in my life. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people don't like certain foods. They don't need to have it in moderation. But if you like something, yeah, it's good not to overdo it and be addicted to it. I agree with you on that. So this guy also said to me the truth. He said, don't get me wrong, I am sexually driven. I love kissing and making out, but I love the thrill of not going all the way. I just feel we can please each other without intercourse. So I think that's really, really good, you know. I think that's great because, you know, there are personally, I love the kissing, I don't like the sex. And there is a certain element of how can I put it, certain element of excitement about you know, like really, really kissing lots and passionately without actually taking your clothes off. It's very, to me, that's a lot more physically arousing and exciting, being honest with you, than it is taking clothes off. To me, I don't really get attracted to the naked body, so of course it's not really, you know, like kind of like the feeling that I mean, I don't want it. I don't actually want sex. I don't experience sexual attraction, but it's kind of that thing when you really want something, but you can't fully have it. But yet you don't really want, with me, I don't really want it in the first place. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like that excitement. Yes, climax is the end. So do you know what I mean? You can have you can have a lot more excitement really without having the actual intercourse, including with your clothes on. You know, even guys can get very excited without actually taking their clothes off, believe it or not, and really enjoy themselves. So you know, I think that's really good that the guy is being honest. He's saying, don't get me wrong, I am sexually driven, so he's not lying to me, which is good. And then he said, to be honest, I wasn't necessarily looking for a sex-free relationship. I didn't know people like you existed, which is fair comment because most people don't know asexuals exist, as we know. But I am glad you do, which I thought was very nice. You are not as shallow as most of our society. You're obviously looking for something deeper, which is true. I plan for this to be a long-term thing if we're compatible. Of course, like you said, we need to be friends first and see where that leads us. So I said, thank you very much for your thoughtful but honest reply. I appreciate that and the fact that you can see I'm looking for something far more deeper and meaningful. In my personal opinion, asexual love is the very purest form of love you can get. I even had a sexual guy on my channel. So I didn't mention your name, Eddie, but I said I even had a sexual guy on my channel last night as a guest in my chat who's also subscribed to my channel, and he has an asexual girlfriend for 2 years now and says it's the purest form of love he has ever experienced and the best relationship he has ever had. So I did give you a shout. I did mention you, but without actually saying your name. And then we did some voice like little messages. And so yeah, so he said he's vegan, right? And it worried me that he may not be able to be with me potentially. Obviously he's not going to just be with me in a relationship. I'm not going to have that with anyone. It's not a good idea. But you know, when you're thinking about potential, he's an activist for veganism, right? Which is a good thing. He's on purpose, which I'll talk more about in a minute. You know, so I thought he's not, you know, like I don't eat cows, I don't eat pigs, and I don't eat sheep. Like I just don't eat them. I don't do it, right? But I do have leather. I do have a leather like holder for my phone. I do have leather shoes, right? But I do eat chicken and I do eat fish, but I don't eat. And I eat turkey at Christmas. That's it for me. I don't eat any more meat. And I personally, you know, like didn't know if he could be with me because if he's activism for veganism and I eat meat, some meat, you know, I don't know how he's going to feel about it because I don't want to hurt him or upset him. Do you know what I mean? And so, but he said that he would he's fine with me being non-vegan, especially if it will affect my health because I have to have fish for my fibro pain, right? It's really, you know, and I've also been told by a nutritionist that I need to eat meats regularly to maintain my blood sugar levels. And I have to say that if I eat properly at regular times, which I haven't really done today, then when I have the like fish and chicken throughout the day, it does regulate my blood sugars, so I'm not up and down every 5 minutes. Which is really good because otherwise I get dizzy and ill. But I haven't exactly been eating on time today because I ended up going on a live stream on a YouTube channel that was just amazing about YouTube streaming, about growing YouTube channels, and it was like 4 guys, like tech guys. They were really, you know, really. I'm like, wow, this is good. And so I ended up being part of that by randomness because Martin, who watches this video, shout out to Martin who watches these videos. He was on. I was on his channel and I happened to come across this live stream and it redirected me to there. And it was an amazing live stream. You know, I feel I know quite a lot about YouTube, even though I've got a smaller subscriber base than some people. I feel I know quite a lot about YouTube. Like when they were talking, I was thinking, oh yeah, but I know this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? So I think I've come a long way, and I'm glad this channel's growing now. I really am. I love you being on my community here. You're fantastic. So a big shout out to all of you who's watching at the moment. Really, really appreciate you being here. So he said, I'm fine with you being non-vegan, especially if it won't affect your health. I just hope you're fine with me being vegan, right? So, you know, this is a really important thing. Like if they've got obvious things on their profile, then you need to double check from the very beginning before you even carry on talking to that person that they're okay for you, you know, like for you to be the way you are. So, you know, it's no good me talking to him and then him down the line saying, well, I didn't know you're not vegan, I'm not interested in you, because that's just wasting each other's time. Right, and then he said about video calling, right? So then we did the video call, and the not video call, voice call, sorry. You know, like it was Facebook, but the video camera was off. I do apologise. I haven't video called him. Oh, hi, Heather. So how do I work out it was genuine, right? So because when he started talking to me, right, like I said at the beginning of this video, he started talking to me about asexuality, and he was genuinely interested in it, right? It wasn't the bog standard, what is that? That's it. He listened to me, like attentively listened to me. Like sometimes he's a bit worried because he felt that the because it's on Facebook, he felt the signal's going. So instead of him pretending he heard me, he's like, oh, I didn't quite catch that because the signal was going off, So a guy who's not listening won't care about breakup in signal. They couldn't care less because they're not really interested, right? But I know he was interested because he was worried about the signal, So I think it's a bit of a bad signal, So he wanted to listen to me. He listened attentively to me for a very, very long time. So he wanted to know when I found out what asexuality actually was properly, because just me writing it in a message and on there, he didn't really understand. So I was explaining this is a lack of sexual attraction. So I don't get the need, urge, or want for partnered sexual intercourse. It just doesn't happen. But I told him up front that I have had sex before. I said, I do this YouTube channel and you will find out that, because he saw I did a channel anyway. And I said, you'll find that out about me. I'm an open book, And so I was open with him, about that. And I think I've never ever talked to someone so much about asexuality that in depth, to someone who isn't on this channel and have just spoke to. Always listen to people and never just wait till they stop talking. Yeah. I never just wait till they stop talking. I just thought it was really, really good, So he was genuinely, wanting to know about asexuality. He wanted to know exactly when I found out I was asexual. He wanted to know about how it worked with the fact I'd had sex in the past, because obviously that didn't really make sense to him. If I don't experience sexual attraction, he didn't really get that. And I was explaining that, that I kind of thought I had to have it I've had it with 5 guys before. I've said it on this channel a long time ago. And in my Asexual Perspectives book, I cover this as well, which is this book, just in case you didn't know. I do have a book. If you're new to this channel, the link's down below if you ever feel like looking over it. But yeah, so I mentioned this in my book, that I have had sex with 5 guys before, but it's like I told him, I said, for example, because you should try and understand it. I said there was this guy I was with, right? He was Latino. He was foreign. I was in a relationship with him, and he was really hot looking. Right? I did meet him at a club. I don't usually get with people after a club, but we ended up being boyfriend and girlfriend. And I was with him for 3 weeks and he had sex with me. And I was just so bored. I said, in the 3 weeks, I was bored, rigid. I was just so bored. I just couldn't. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. I just couldn't be in a relationship with him any longer. I said, I liked his cooking, but I wasn't interested in sex with him. Even though he's asexually really hot looking and loads of women would like to, I'm just not interested in him, I said, because I don't feel that way. I said, the only guy that gave me good sex was my last long-term ex for 8.5 years. But I never looked at him or anyone in my life and thought, I want sex with you. I never looked at him and thought, I really want sex with you. Doesn't enter my head. I said, I'm not attracted to women. I'm only attracted to guys romantically. I said, but I don't want to have sex with them. Like, he used to try and instigate sex when I was doing the washing up, and I'd rather do the washing up. And sometimes we wouldn't have sex for 2 months, and that was really good for me because I didn't really want it. I wasn't bothered about it. I didn't really like it. It wasn't really interesting. I said, it does nothing for me. Do you know what I mean? So I think he was understanding that, he was really interested. This is a genuine guy who really wants to ask more questions about, me as a person and how asexuality works and, stuff like that. But he wasn't honing in on the sex part. Do you know what I mean? So some guys who are very sexual, who are very sexually orientated, they will literally twist what you're saying. Not necessarily twist, but they will pick out the very sexual parts of your conversation, and they will get very sexual over it. Do you see what I'm saying? Rather than the conversation between me and him was more of a matter of fact, him wanting to really deeply understand me as a person and what this asexuality actually is and what it means. And he could relate to parts of it, which was nice. He said, oh, actually, now you've mentioned it, I remember when I was younger, but, these people were more into that type of thing than I was, for example, and stuff like this. Do you know what I mean? So he can relate to bits of asexuality, which was interesting. I think he seemed like genuinely interested. Obviously you have to watch it when they're genuinely, when they can relate to some stuff, because you're like, but you're not asexual, are you? Do you know what I mean? So you've got to be careful. But he could relate to some stuff, but he said, I just felt like I had to go with the crowd years ago when he couldn't really understand, I guess, all the craziness about sex so much. So, maybe he is a genuine guy that, that actually isn't so sex crazed as as other people are, right? So, I just thought that was really, really interesting conversation. The amount of depth and a long time talking to him about that was, he didn't really speak that much at that time because I was full on chatting and in kind of like on a roll. Do you know what I mean? And I was kind of like stopping, and then he would say something, and then he was like, "Oh, carry on," because kind of like when I talk about things, sometimes I can forget what I'm going to say if I don't carry on saying it, and then kind of the person speak. So it was just really good. I really liked the fact he took deep interest, but it wasn't a sexual conversation. So that's another reason why I know he's probably a genuine guy, and he seemed a genuine guy. There was also that, because he wasn't gearing it towards the sexual side of a potential relationship. He was gearing it towards more of an educational standpoint with asexuality, and he wasn't talking to me about, like he could have started talking to me about the foreplay that you mentioned that you liked. He could have started talking about making out. He could have started talking about all that stuff, but he did mention about the anatomy. He said, I don't like the male anatomy, because I told him I don't like the female body, I don't like nakedness. So he did mention, I don't like the male anatomy. I used to think that I don't understand what women see in the male anatomy. How do you feel about that? So yeah, he did ask me that, and I said I don't really like it. Said to me it looks like a sack of potatoes like gone wrong or wizened or something. I said I don't really like the male anatomy. I'm not really into that. So you know what I mean. So yeah. So he said about him not being into oral sex, which was good. He didn't really like that, so that was great. So there are some sexual stuff he doesn't seem to actually like, which is good. So I was really pleased about that. I thought this was really good. I'm saying this stuff, not because I don't, not because I want to tell everything he said, but I just want to like tell you the signs to look out for of like a genuine guy. A genuine guy will want to know more about how your sexuality, your asexuality could affect the potential relationship, and they will ask you in a more educational, matter-of-fact way. They won't start sleazing. So I've had some guys before and they get very sleazy. Like when I talk about sexual stuff, they'll start saying, oh yeah, well, where do you like to be touched? Tell me how you like to be touched. And then it becomes really, really sexual, and then it makes you feel really uncomfortable and disgusting, like you're really a sexual guy, just get out of my life. Do you know what I mean? Get out of, you know what I mean? But he wasn't doing that. He was genuinely like matter-of-fact stuff. And it was nice that he asked me about the male anatomy. Do I like it or not? How do I feel about it? I said, no, I don't like it, because he doesn't like it, so he could understand that. So obviously he's probably different with women, I think, but with men he said he feels that way. So that was good. Like at least he could relate to what I was saying. So he was trying to relate to me. So that was a really good sign that he's genuine as well. But one of the things that really stood out for about genuine, he had this little quiver in his voice when he was talking to me about some stuff. It was like he was kind of scared of telling me some stuff, but he wanted to tell me the truth. I had to unlearn talking topics when chatting with my girlfriend. Eddie, I had to unlearn talking topics when chatting with my girlfriend. Oh, that's interesting. Heather, mature guys are sexy, laugh out loud. Mature guys are sexy, Heather. Heather, I've never heard you mention the word sexy before. This guy isn't mature as in the sense of age, but he seems like a really mature guy for his age, because he's 29 this month. Well, certain topics, yeah. Yeah. I mean, asexy. But yeah, he seems very mature for his age. So from what I learned in a very short space of time, he seems like a very genuine, decent guy. So when we're chatting, we chat a lot about business stuff, a lot about entrepreneurship. We talked a lot about his business stuff, my business stuff. We've got some things in common. I'm in one of the groups that he's going, oh, have you heard of such and such before? And I said, yeah, I'm in that group. And he's like, oh, wow. Because he didn't expect me to say I was actually in the group, which he kind of aspires to maybe be in that group, if you know what I mean. And he sells stuff on a site where I buy from. So we've he says we got a lot in common in that way, and he's very on his mission. So he produces music and he's got his own YouTube channel, and it's really good. He does his own songs. He's got a beautiful voice, a stunningly beautiful voice. I'm surprised he's not actually producing his own, he does. He produces his own music on his channel. He produces it for other people, but I'm surprised he's not like a well-known Well, I think he is, because he said he's quite well known in his industry. So, but you know what I mean? I just think, you know, he deserves all the fame he can get and fortune, because I just think he's a genuine guy, and he needs someone to believe in him. He does need a female partner. Whoever becomes his female partner, he needs her to believe, just as much as I need support in my asexuality and what I do for asexuals. He needs support in what he does. I know that about him, because I could tell that he hasn't got much support. Like, a lot of people, when you get into entrepreneurship like I am, a lot of people don't believe you. Like, your family, your friends, they kind of like thinking you're crazy, right? You want to make all this money online, or you want, I mean, obviously with asexuality, I don't really make much money. Like, I'm doing other businesses next year to sort that situation out. You know, but obviously I would like to make more money with asexual stuff, because I'm predominantly on here for like 14 hours a week or more. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, like, selling a few books is not going to make me loads of money. That's not why I do it, clearly, because I'm on here for free for hours. But you know what I'm saying? You know, he needs support. I need support. And you kind of, like, people think you're crazy, like, about making money online or having a home-based business, being self-employed. They kind of think you're off your rocker a lot of the time, you know, like, not traditional self-employment, but self-employment, like online stuff, you know. And so he's kind of like talking, like, saying, you know, people don't really understand and kind of believe in him. I get that, because I'm, you know, people have been that way with me, but I said I believe in him 100%, even just from talking to him. I can feel that he's passionate about what he does, like the veganism. You know, it's an act, like, I'm an activist, really. Well, people call me an activist for asexuality. I call myself an ambassador, really. But he's an activist for veganism. Like, what I said was, as well, a genuine guy, a guy who's a good guy anyway, will be on purpose. Someone who's better to get into a relationship with is someone who's on their purpose. They know their mission in life, they know what they have to do, and they've sorted that part of their life out, right? Maybe they haven't sorted it out completely, right? So this guy isn't totally where he wants to be, but he's done a lot of work. He's got good customer reviews, he said. I know the platform he's on. He's got, you know, he's building his business up more and more. He says quite well known. He does all this work. He was explaining what he does. It's very impressive. I've listened to his music on his channel, a bit of it. Got beautiful voice, you know. And he's on purpose, you know, and that again is a genuine guy, someone who's living his purpose, not a guy who, like, I don't know what I want with my life, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what career I want, I just follow the crowd, or I just kind of go with the flow. This is not a type of guy, you know, that the type of guy who just goes with the flow is not the type of guy you want in a relationship, because he's just going to go with the flow of the relationship. It's going to head nowhere. You know, you're going to feel like you're just like walking on thin air all the time or something. Do you know what I mean? You need a guy who's genuine and genuine interest in relationship. They will be more on purpose with their own life. They will have other things sorted in their life, so they're not needing to be in a relationship, but the relationship is complementary to their life and being. Do you see what I mean? Because that's where you need to get into a position yourself where you're not relying on a relationship to make yourself happy, but you are entering a potential relationship for the pure simple fact that you would like to have someone to share your life with and world with, but you are at a stage where you're happy in of yourself because you're on mission purpose. Like, you know, like, even if that person's not, like, you know, making stat loads of money or whatever, or I'm not, you know, if you know your mission, you know your life purpose, you know what you're doing, you've got pretty much sorted out, you're going to be more clear about a relationship. You're going to know more what you want about a relationship, because you're going to have clarity in other areas of your life. That's going to kind of spill over into the relationship thing more, like what you want. Obviously, you know, he's probably going to be a bit shocked that this girl's just come in this chat, you know, this commented in this group that, you know, they're asexual, they don't want sex. He didn't know that I existed, so obviously that might have been I mean, he approached me though, don't forget, he approached me, so he knew what he's doing when he approached me, but that might be a little bit more shock to the system. He's got to get used to the idea, but he said that he really likes it, you know, and it was positive about it. So I think it's really well. But, you know, when I was talking to him, there's little quivers in his voice that meant he was nervous because he wanted to tell me something, but he was worried about what I thought, but he'd tell me anyway. So he did tell me the truth about a lot of stuff that he was nervous about. And I could tell he was nervous because he's foreign origin. You can tell he's got foreign blood in him because he looks foreign. So, but he's British born. And I think, you know, I accepted that because he isn't coloured skinned. He's got, well, he's slightly toned skin, but not really dark coloured skin. It's just slightly toned, if you know what I mean. So you can just tell by looking at it. It's fine. So I like, where are you? You know, what blood have you got in you? What is your relatives or whatever? So he was trying to get me to say, but I thought, because I saw some stuff on his Facebook where he'd like some cereal groups, so I thought maybe he's from cereal or something. But like obviously I'm into Indian guys as my top attraction. Bangladeshi is my second. Middle Eastern is my third. So anyway, eventually he said, oh, my dad's actually Asian, and of course Asian guys can be India. So I said, what, India? He goes, well, Pakistani actually, but but he's he goes, well, yeah, but Pakistani, so yeah, that was really interesting, because obviously my top attraction's Indian guys, which I kissed the Indian guy in the club a few weeks ago, like a month ago. Then my second top attraction was Bangladeshi, which I kissed the Bangladesh guy recently. And then my third top attraction is Middle Eastern. So he's obviously got Middle Eastern blood in him, like he's part Middle Eastern, because his dad's from Pakistan. He said he was on the Pakistan-Afghan border or something. That's where he originally comes from. So, but he was worried about telling me that. You could hear his quiver. I said, you sound really nervous about telling me that. He goes, yeah, because a lot of girls don't like that. I said, yeah, but I do, because I like foreign guys. And I have one of my best friends from years ago, like, not obviously Sam's my best friend, best friend, and then Andy on here, and I got a female best friend as well. But one of my best friends from like years ago, the person who I was best friends with at the time, who I still keep on contact with, but not that regularly to be like an actual total best friend, if you know what I mean. They're sort of like someone will always be my friend. That we've always been really good friends in the past, you know what I mean? So anyway, he's from Pakistan. One of my best friends years ago was from Pakistan, but he lived in Exeter for a while studying. He's got wife and kids, so he's gone back to Pakistan. But we do keep in touch sometimes, like voice chat, or occasionally I haven't video chatted with him for ages, but he's very busy. He does a lot of work and stuff, and got family to look after, right? So yeah, so I got on, and he said, oh, people act weirdly when I talk that. A lot of women don't like it. They tend to like frighten them off, but it doesn't frighten me off. Like I told him, I said, oh, you did tell me you wanted me to be honest, and don't, you want me to be honest about everything. And I said, yeah, I do, because that's the thing, you see. If he ever be dishonest, I couldn't even potentially carry on thinking about, where is it going to lead, because I can't abide by dishonesty. I don't care what the honesty is. They just have to be 100% honest with me, and that doesn't bother me anyway. I told him, I said, my top attraction's Indian, second Bangladesh, third Middle Eastern. I've actually, I didn't even get around to telling him I've had an Afghanistan boyfriend. I've had a boyfriend from Afghanistan before, a boyfriend from Latino boyfriend, which I did tell him about him, and Persian. There was a guy who was Persian as well. So I've had foreign boyfriends in the past, and so he doesn't put me off him, because I'm looking for someone who's got that type of background. You know what I mean? But he grew up with his mum anyway, not his dad. So yeah, I just, I could tell by the little quivers in his voice, it wasn't sort of the really full on, like, like you get these guys that are so cocky, so full of it, so up their own ass, that you just like, they only really love themselves. It's good to have self-love, but not so it's ego. There's a big difference between, like, I love myself so much because I'm coming from a place of ego, and I love myself so much because I'm coming from a place of real pure love for myself and admiration for myself. Do you know what I mean? They are two completely separate things, right? So he was coming from a place of he cares about himself, but he's not over confident, do you know what I mean? But he seems like a genuine, regular, nice guy. He actually seemed quite a normal guy compared to what a lot of the other ones I've talked to. So when I came off the phone with it, Facebook phone, when I came off Facebook phone with him, when I came off, I was left feeling like he seems a nice person, a genuinely nice person, more like he'll be my friend, I was thinking, even if it's not romance, it might be friend, but you have to be really good friends first. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, so I didn't have a bad feeling about it, because he wasn't trying to be too intense. He wasn't trying to be too sexual or anything like that. Because he did say, because I said that he can friend request me if he wants. He goes, he goes, the reason I didn't before our chat is because I thought it's better to chat to you first and not presume that you just want to be my friend and not be too forward and not be too pushy. He said, I didn't want to be too pushy with you like that, because you didn't want me to be put off by that. So I thought that was really nice. Again, a genuine guy, because he didn't want to be pushy. He didn't want to presume that I'd want to be his friend when I don't even know him. Do you know what I mean? Because I get a lot of guys in that group just trying to friend me and write whatever. So yeah, I thought he was a genuine guy. I've watched his channel since I watched his video about veganism. It's really good. He seems like really genuinely cares about animals, which is obviously a great thing because a lot of asexuals are into animals, you know. I have a guinea pig, which I didn't tell him about, obviously, because there was so much we talked about in the hour and a half, and I had to go and get food before I came on my stream. I was late coming on my stream because, excuse me, I had to go in the shower and then eat before I came on this channel. And I was talking to him till gone 10 p.m. at night. And then I jumped in the shower and put my food on. So, yeah, so he seemed like a genuine guy. So I think you have to look for things like, you have to look for what they're talking about in terms of, do they focus on the sexual stuff, as in because they're getting a sexual thrill out of it, or do they talk about asexuality like he was doing, like genuinely asking questions, taking an interest? Even after we finished the conversation, he still had a further question he wanted to ask me, which is good because it means that after we finished talking, he was still thinking about potential relationship with me and would it work out or not. I have another question for her. So he asked me a question about how tall I was, which I thought was just a funny question because I really couldn't give a toss how tall or short a guy is. I really couldn't. I don't care about stuff like that. I know my best female friend, she was saying to me before she met a guy that, I couldn't be with a guy taller than me. And I'm like, I don't, shorter than her. Sorry, she wanted someone taller than her, not shorter than her, but she's quite tall herself because my mum's taller than my dad, but she wanted a guy that was taller than her. And I don't care about stuff like that. It doesn't bother me what his height is. You know what I mean? That's irrelevant to me, you know? Like the guy I was with briefly in a relationship this year, British guy, he was nearly practically exactly the same height as me. My ex, for a long-term ex, was 6'3" and I'm 5'4.5", so he was much taller than me, you know? And he said, oh, good, he's glad that I'm shorter than him, basically, because he's 5'7", and girls usually worry about stuff like that. So I said, why do you ask? And he's like, because most girls like guys who are 6 foot. I mean, I don't care about stuff like that. Why would I? I don't care about, like I do care if I'm aesthetically attracted to them or not, but I can become more aesthetically attracted to a guy if his personality's right. Do you know what I mean? So, like, this guy does have hair on his chest, I noticed from one of his photographs. He's not sticking his chest out. He's got a vest top on, so you can see he's got some hair. So I prefer a guy with hairless chest, obviously. And in some pictures, he's got no beard. He's clean shaven. Other ones, he's got a real beard, which I don't particularly think he looks as good looking with the facial hair. But with his, with no facial hair, it's really nice. He's got a picture of him and like a Labrador puppy. It's really, really sweet. But, I love the fact that he loves animals so much. I love the fact that he's on purpose with his veganism, even though I'm not a vegan myself. I love the fact that he's really passionate about that. And he's, producing music. There's rapping. It's all about songs like, with vegan activism, it requires a lot of creative brains to do that, a lot of intelligence and a lot of entrepreneurship. And obviously I'm into all those three things. And it was nice because he was saying we've got stuff in common. It wasn't me saying that, but he was, obviously there's a lot more to find out about if we've got other stuff in common or not, because I don't think he's so into movies, because I think he was about to say I'm not really into movies. And then we kind of went on to a different subject. So, and I had to get going. Because otherwise I wouldn't have ended up being here at all before midnight. So yeah, I think he's genuinely interested. I think he was a genuine guy. When I was watching his YouTube channel, he's not being a cocky ass. He's being a really genuine, wanting to help people out, wanting people to take an interest in his channel. He's wanting people to really get behind what he's saying, but for he's basically giving health benefits of veganism and why it's important. And he's backing it up with facts, and and he's into animals, like not being abused. And I think that's another good sign as well of a potential relationship, right? Is if a guy is dead against animal abuse, he's probably more likely going to be into less, likely to be harmful to human beings as well, if he's that sensitive towards animals. I'm not saying it's totally true, because there can be some people that are real animal lovers, yet so so unempathetic to human beings. They just prefer animals and that's it. A lot of asexuals prefer, I've known a lot of asexuals prefer animals to human beings as well. They can relate to them better. So it doesn't necessarily mean that. But I just think, a guy who's got a kind heart like that, who really cares about animals and cares about their welfare and cares about them not being abused, I just think, that's a more sensitive, kind, caring guy in that space. Obviously, I'd have to find out what he was like in terms of like with people, and he also seemed a little bit concerned that I had a lot of male friends. Like, he didn't say he was concerned, but there was like in his voice, it was a bit like, oh, so, you know, like, he goes, oh, so have you got asexual female friends? Because I said most of my friends are guys. And then he was kind of like asking me more about that, like saying, oh, is there more guys than girls? And I was like, there are more female asexuals than guys, but most of my friends are guys. And he was kind of asking me about that. I think he was a bit interested because obviously, you know, he's not asexual. And you know, and he was kind of like trying to figure out, I think, whether my guy friends are just my guy friends or whether there's anything more in it. I think he didn't ask me this, you know, you can just hear it, his voice, it was a little bit apprehensive, but I think that's fine, because obviously if he had loads of women friends, which he might very well do, I probably would be thinking the same thing, you know, like, do you fancy your female friends? Do you know what I mean? It's kind of quite natural, especially from a sexual point of view, quite natural to think that, because a lot of the time the opposite genders in the heterosexual world, they can't be just good friends, you know. A sexual guy and a sexual girl, a lot of the time they just like, it's, you know, it doesn't work out. So don't forget, he's a heterosexual, he's not an asexual person. So he didn't accuse me, didn't you know, it was just, he was asking him, you can just hear it in his tone of voice. I think tone of voice is a lot, and I think that's what you can get out of a conversation on the phone with someone, or via Facebook Messenger on the phone part, you know. You can get the fact that, Tom, away to the gallery, food to cook up. Oh, thanks, John, for being here. I appreciate you. Appreciate you being here, I really do. So thank you. I hope you enjoy your food. So yeah, so this guy seems like really, really nice person. A really, really genuine guy. He seems genuinely interested in me. So I think you've just got to see how it goes as well, because obviously if a person's genuinely interested, they'll speak to you again. But they said that, you know, that feel free to message anytime, and they look forward to talking to them again. So I have to see if they make an effort to talk to me again, or if it's like kind of like I've got to chase them, because I don't want to start chasing guys. But I do think it's very difficult sometimes in this day and age for a guy to actually understand whether a woman wants them to message them. So I might have to message him. You know, if I don't hear from him, I might have to message him saying, look, I am happy for you to message me. And you know, just because I'm asexual doesn't mean to say I don't like to be pursued by the right guy. Do you know what I mean? Because people assume because you're asexual that you don't want to be pursued, and like, because they could seem to be bothering you. But I like that, you know. I don't want to have to chase a guy, or, you know, follow up with a guy and stuff like that. I want him, like, if he's genuinely interested in me, to carry on talking to me. Do you know what I mean? Like a proper friendship conversation. So I have to see how it goes, you know. But I think he was genuinely interested. I mean, he wouldn't be asking about height, would he? And worried about whether it mattered to me or not, unless he was genuinely interested. Guys who are not interested, they don't usually think of questions afterwards. It's like, I've talked to the person, now that's it. You know, the fact that he's actually thought of a question afterwards about me and about him, you know, like in potential scenario with the height, is, you know, it shows that he's genuinely interested and worried or concerned that maybe he's not going to be right for me if he's not the right height and stuff like that. So I think when a guy is genuinely concerned about whether he's the right person for you or not, again, this is a good sign, right? A heterosexual person who's just interested in the one thing, they won't care about stuff like that. But a person who's actually caring about what you think about them in other ways, not just a physical way, like with the height, you know, and they care about, you know, like they were worried in case I wouldn't be able to accept them as a vegan, you know, they're worried about all that other stuff, not just focusing on the sex stuff. It's kind of like, it's a very good sign. It means they're genuinely interested in you as a person. They're interested in your welfare a bit. They're interested in you having the best type of person for you. They're a bit nervous as to whether they'll be right for you or not, because they really do like you. And that, you know, when they're saying stuff like that, it's like they're a little bit nervous. Like, I could tell with some of the stuff they say, because I asked them, like, I said, I don't do drugs. I've never smoked anything in my life. You know, do you smoke? And he goes, no, I don't smoke, but I am going to be honest with you. Like, about 5 years ago, I think he said he used to do cannabis and stuff. So he used to do, and he gave up drinking as well. Or was it 5 years ago he gave up drinking? I think, no, 5 years ago he gave up drinking, but years ago he used to do cannabis. So he's not lying. He goes, but I don't do it. Like, he hasn't done it for at least 5 years, the drinking and the smoking stuff. He's like become a healthier guy, you know. He's into a lot of health stuff. So, you know, he said, I want to be honest because you told me you need an honest guy, and I want to be honest about everything. He goes, and I'm sorry if you kind of like, I know he was worried about that, me, you know, being put off by that, you know, but I believe that it's, you know, a guy needs to be genuine, and he was honest. He goes, I don't drink alcohol. He goes, and I'm also giving up, he was also giving up coffee, because he said it's not going well for him with his tummy, so he's giving up coffee. That's a recent thing for him. So, you know, he's genuinely thinking about his health more. He's genuinely getting out of all those old habits years ago that he's got out of, like, over the last 5 years. So this is good, you know. It's a guy who's thought about his health, thought about his well-being, thought about his future. You know, like, he's on purpose. So, you know, when you're looking to see what the signs of the person being a good, genuine person, you know, these are some of the signs you need to look for. And obviously, whether he could be with an asexual person, you know, he seems to really respect the fact that I don't like sex, and he didn't come across as being like, you know, like forcibly. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. He didn't come across as being forcefully like sexual or over sexual, you know, and he genuinely seemed to be interested in my asexuality and what that was all about. You know, it's very, very in-depth conversation. You know, I went all through, like, when I first found out I was asexual, what happened with the counsellor, the fact she said I need sex in order to have a good guy, do you know what I mean? And that was horrendous for me. I talked about the TEDx audition I went for. So I went to audition for TEDx in Bristol. That was that last year or the year before? It was last February 2017, I think it was. But anyway, it's on my channel anyway. And I went for that, but I didn't, you know, I didn't get through to the end. I got through to the very final round, and I didn't get through to the program. But, you know, I told him all about the fact that, you know, everything happens for a reason, I believe, you know. Oh, and we did talk about religion as well. We got talking about that and spirituality. And so we did, you know, like, you could tell that the conversation was not based on sex and physicality. It was literally genuinely based on things we have in common, which is a much more asexual style of relationship talk. Do you know what I mean? So that was good. But anyway, if you didn't know about what happened with TEDx, is that I believe everything happens for a reason in life, right? Everything, good or bad, everything happens for a reason, right? Everything. Okay, so I come out of the TEDx audition. I'm going for the bus, and there's this guy who happened to be there, and he was asking me, like, you know, what did you come to talk about? So I said about asexuality, and I said asexuality means I'm asexual and I lack sexual attraction, meaning I basically don't get the need urge to want to have sexual intercourse, partner sexual intercourse with a guy, but I'm only attracted to guys, like, you know, I just like to kiss them, basically. And he's like, oh, I knew someone like that. And I said, oh, that's great, give them my business card, you know, because I've got business cards for asexuality, spreading awareness all the time. And then he turned around and said, I can't, because he's dead. And so, yeah, that made me feel really bad in a way, do you know what I mean? Because I didn't expect him to say that. And so then he said people thought he was gay. That's why he killed himself, because he wasn't gay, but because, you know, he was like me. Basically, you know, people thought he was gay and he wasn't, and he couldn't take it anymore, so he killed himself. And yeah, I felt kind of weird when he said that, but I said, so if he knew about asexuality back then, you know, when he was alive, would he have killed himself? And he said, no, probably not. So, you know, I could have saved this guy's life if I'd have known I was asexual during this channel. He was still alive and saw it, you know. So some people do kill themselves over being asexual, because they don't think there's anyone else like them in the world, unless they stumble across a forum, a group. You know, that's why it's very imperative that we get the word out about asexuality. It's very, very imperative. You know, people's lives are, you know, some people's lives are completely destroyed by the fact they don't want sex because they feel like lonely, lost, and they're the only one, and they feel like isolated. And other people are suicidal. You know, it just goes to show what can actually happen. And so that's why I do what I do. You know, that's why I do this channel. That's why I will always do this channel. That's why I do my books for asexuals. You know, that's why I talk about asexuality at any available opportunity. You know, because I didn't know I was asexual for years. You know, I genuinely thought I was a heterosexual person who didn't really like sex and wasn't really into it. And I didn't associate sex with love, and I preferred kissing. I had no idea I was asexual, that asexuality existed. But when it got to the stage where I couldn't, I told the guy this as well. And you know, I told the guy from the dating group that's interested me, I told him, you know, that I didn't even realize I was asexual before, you know, for a long time. And that I came across, when I found out from the counsellor, that she said that, you're going to have sex in order to keep a good diet. It's like a license for rape, That's what it feels like. It's like basically you've got to have sex in order to keep a good guy. But it's like, why would that guy be good for me if I don't want sex and don't like it in the first place? He wouldn't. He wouldn't be a good guy who's wanting me to do something I don't like doing, And so that's basically like a license for him to rape. Do you know what I mean? It's disgusting. And so that's when I went home, Googled I love kissing but not sex, and found out asexuality. And I told the guy who was interested in me, a bit via voice chat, that, that's when I found out the biggest community online of asexuals, that there's thousands around the globe, basically. And there's people like me who can live, love, and be happy without sex and want romance without sex, I did tell him my parents used to, like, laugh at me when I didn't want sex in a relationship because they didn't understand me, but now they understand me really well. They're really good about it. And when I told them about asexuality. But when I was with the Bangladesh guy who cheated on me after 3 weeks, I told him this, then, they didn't understand why I didn't want sex. But I said, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't have sex with him. Even though I had sex in the past, my long-term ex, I couldn't do it anymore. I just can't do it anymore. I just can't. I can't even force myself to do it. I just can't do it. It's just not in my being anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's like gone. I know I did that for a long time because it was somewhere 8.5 years. But I told him like for about 2 months at a time, we didn't even have sex. Sometimes 3 months. And which I preferred. I'd rather not do it, and I just can't do it anymore. I told him that I didn't date anyone after my last long-term ex in 2011. I didn't really date anyone for a year. And between 2012 and 2014, I dated like guys that were sexual, foreign guys, but but the expectation of sex at the end of the night made me nearly wet myself, literally. I couldn't do it anymore with the Bangladesh guy. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't have sex, I just couldn't do it. I can't do it, He wanted to. He kept saying I just couldn't. I can't do that anymore. I can't bring myself to do that, I know anyone can do that. It's not difficult in the sense of, like, you can just do it if you want to, but I can't do it. Like, every bone in my body doesn't want that anymore. It's like every bit of my being, like, is completely up against the wall about it. Do you know what I mean? Like when you see a cat that's scared and they're like in a cartoon, their hair stands on end, or like someone's seen a ghost. It's a bit like that. It's a bit like an instant reaction, like a prickly reaction. Like, I can't do that anymore. Get away from that. You know what I mean? I just can't do that. And it must be hard for a heterosexual guy to listen to this, because obviously, like, one heterosexual guy I spoke to a long time ago, well, not that long, a couple of months ago, he was like, oh, well, you've had sex with other guys, so I'd be upset about that you don't want it with me. Obviously, a genuinely good guy won't worry about that, but it might be a bit weird to them of why you've had sex if you don't like it. Do you know, in the past, he was trying to understand that about me. But that's why I know he's a genuine guy, because he wasn't backing off. He was listening to everything I said, and he was quite happy for me to spend as much time as I wanted explaining it to him without really interrupting me that much, without really, like, only genuinely taking an interest. And he was quite happy for me to tell everything as much as possible to him. But then, we started talking about all the business stuff. I thought, I was really interested in what he had to say, all his ambitions and plans for the future, and I said, I'm 100% support you, obviously, because I think he needs that, to know that off the bat. I think it's very important that if you do get into a relationship, or potentially you might be in a relationship with someone, that you let them know that you will support them in their career. Their career is a big, important part of someone's life. I told him I'm not into cooking or cleaning for a guy. I said if a guy ever visits my place, I want him to bring his own food and wash up after him. I'm not into doing that type of thing at all. I'm a business girl. I prefer to build websites. He said he preferred to build websites as well, but he's got a eye problem. He injured his eye, so he can't be at a computer for long periods of time as it used to be, which is fair enough. I didn't even tell him my mum has an eye problem. I didn't get onto that thing, talking about that. But yeah, we had a lovely conversation, really, and I was really pleased. I thought he seemed a really nice guy, and since I watched his channel again, well, I'd heard his voice, but I hadn't really seen him on camera, but now I've seen one of his videos on camera. He looks like a really decent, like, normal guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, wow, a normal guy, so yeah, probably a little bit different to what I usually go for in some ways, but he is foreign looking, and he does look very, like, especially when he's got his face shaped, it's really good looking. And he's got a beautiful voice, a nice speaking voice as well, very, very soft, gentle, compassionate voice. For me, because I used to be a hospital radio presenter for years, I pay a lot of attention to someone's voice and how the tone is, and whether they're cautious in their tone of voice, whether they're cocky in their tone of voice. So when you are assessing if someone's being genuine or not, you should be listening, watching their eyes, watching their mannerisms. If you get them on video chat, I haven't video chat with them yet, but listening to their tone of voice, listening to when they quiver in their voice because they're nervous. But the things he was nervous about, he was nervous, but he still told me them, which I think's really good. But I said, "Oh, you seem really nervous about telling me where your dad's from," But he said, "Oh, because a lot of girls don't like that." But I don't want him to assume I'm like other girls. I'm very different to other girls. I think that's really important that he knows that, and I don't want a guy to be held back. I want the truth. If I don't like it, then that's fine. Let me walk away now. Like, if he doesn't like stuff about me, let him walk away. It's much better to do that early on. But that's how I know he's a more genuine guy, because a guy who's not genuine wouldn't give a toss about stuff like that. They'd be so after so many women lined up. They were not going to care about what you think about them, are they, really? They're just going to be like, "Yeah, I'm such a good guy. I'm like, come and get me," type thing. But if a guy's genuinely concerned about whether he meets your requirements or not, and hopes that he does, and there's kind of quivers in his voice, you kind of know that he's more genuine, that he is looking for an actual genuine relationship, and he's not just faffing around with like doing things for appearance's sake. But obviously, like, you don't know a person just from talking to them once. You've got to get to know them over a period of time. You've got to see whether they're consistent and persistent or not. The only way of really telling if a person's genuine is over a long period of time. And obviously, like, check out their Facebook. I've checked out his Facebook, and he doesn't say he's interested in women on there. That's another good sign. Like, when on their Facebook profile, where they have interested in, I don't have that, because I'm asexual. I'm not looking for a sexual relationship. I don't put interest in men or interest in women, because that's really for sexuals. I just don't do that. So I don't bother answering that, so it's not on my profile on Facebook. And he hasn't got that on his that I could see. It didn't say anything about what type of relationship he was into, men or women. It just says his date of birth and stuff like that, and movies. He has liked following a lot of pages with women, though. I have to say that. A majority of the pages he's following is women, and there's one woman that is a pole dancer, but she's in a relationship. It seems like she does that for fitness rather than like just trying to get sex. Do you know what I mean? It seems like she does that for like a genuine hobby and interest. So obviously, she's got the G-string up her ass, which is not very appealing. But I did get, because I looked at her profile, because obviously when people's an open book, you should be looking and checking their Facebook profile, checking for the films they like, checking for the people they've got as their friends. If all they've got is just women friends all the time, it's a bit dodgy. But he does follow a lot of women, but I noticed a lot of them are veganisms, into entrepreneurship, and that type of thing, and fitness. So I think it's probably more of the fitness angle. But obviously he's heterosexual, so he's still going to be sexually attracted to some women, isn't he? Like, that's the thing. Just as much as you're asexual, you can't change a sexual person, expect them to not be, not be that way. You know what I mean? Like, completely. But it depends. Like, if I come across a guy who's just got like loads of stuff all over his profile, I'm not going to be comfortable with him, to be honest. But so I have to see how it goes. He didn't seem to have bad films on there, or anything like that. He didn't have sexy posts on his profile. It's more to do with animals, animal care. Do you know what I mean? So that was good. Even when he's posing and he's good looking, he's not doing it in a "I'm so sexy, come and get me" way. He's doing it more of a businessy way. So I liked that about his profile. Actually, he hasn't got loads of pictures on there. His profile's been going since 2018 by the look of it. So it's not one of those new ones, but it isn't like really old. So whether he's got another profile somewhere else, I don't know. But yeah, so he has liked following a lot of women though. So obviously, but like I said, I think a lot of it is business point of view. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, you just have to see how it goes. So I think what you have to do with any situation like this is, when you're dating into relationships and you think as a heterosexual that possibly might be genuine, you have to like really see over a long period of time what they're like, where they start getting sexual with you later on, where they start like liking loads of sexy women in the groups. You know, like if he's going around like talking to me and then I see him liking loads of like pictures of women with their boobs hanging out, then I'm just like gonna know that I'm just another number to him, and he's not really genuinely interested. Like when he says he's not into a woman who's sex crazed, and then if he starts liking all the women's photographs with the great big boobs and hardly any clothes on, do you know what I mean? And they may as well not even bother wearing any, then I'm gonna know that really he's not genuine, because he's gonna, you know, those women are clearly the sex crazed women, do you know what I mean? So you know, you can kind of tell, but you know, so it's kind of not what they say so much to you, it's about their actions. So when you're looking for a genuine guy or person, you have to see if their words match their actions. You know, if what they're saying they don't like or don't want, if it's actually true, or if they're going completely against. Like if they say, you know, I'm not interested, you know, a lot of people are sex crazy, and then they start liking loads of sex stuff, then you know that they're not telling the truth, they're lying. So I think you've got to like really sum up like where you are at now with the person, how genuine they feel they're being through the questions they ask you, for the genuine interest they take in you, the way they talk about asexuality, whether they avoid the subject or they want to know more about it. Always pay attention to their tone of voice, pay attention to what they say and then what they do in comparison to what they've told you already. And so, you know, it's genuinely a long process getting to know someone properly, but you can get to know someone really quickly. Like with the Bangladeshi guy that I kissed before, you know, I could tell there was a lot of things that weren't right about him. You know, he was contradicting his answers, you know, he was saying one thing, then saying another thing, and it was just all over the place. So I knew he wasn't being genuine, you know, and so you can usually tell. Like I know this guy had quivers in his voice, which did worry me. You know, it worried me. One thing I thought was really good, because he's, you know, he's worried about saying stuff to me because he wants me to like him. But he did go through, and he did actually go through and tell me, despite being a bit nervous. So and you know, a guy being a bit nervous is a good thing, because it means he's not cocky and going around just chatting up so many women, that he's got such a confident ear about him, because he's, you know, into loads of women. So I think it's better when he's going around having a little bit of, you know, a little bit of nervousness. It's a more of a genuineness. Do you know what I mean? Well, obviously, you know, I am on the dating scene, so is he. So he's going to speak to other women besides me, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I don't even know how long he's been in that group, you know? So I haven't asked him that yet, you know? But, you know, I'm already on the upper hand from the point of view of other women, for the fact that I like a guy who's foreign, and I'm quite happy for him to have a Middle Eastern background, because like that's my third attraction. So third time lucky, huh? I've had an Indian guy, Bangladesh guy. I mean, obviously I've always wanted an Indian guy, really. So he's not Indian background, but he's like, oh, you do realize that Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, like all those type of places were all part of India once years ago. I like that about him as well. I'm like, you're trying to convince me you're the right guy for me. Not in a bad way, but just in a very subtle, like, oh, you know, well, you know, it was all part of India at one point, like trying to put it in my favour a bit more. Do you know what I mean? So I thought that was quite nice. I like, he really wants me to like him, so that was quite good. But like I said, you've got to take everything with a pinch of salt. You've got to take things, you got to trust the person as they've given you the trust. Listen to what they said, then see if their actions match their words later on, or if they start contradicting themselves, or obviously they might just lose interest, because, you know, he could have heterosexual girls all over the place. So you have to see if that's genuine, if he really does want to you know, someone who's not sex crazed, or if he really is just saying that to please me because he's just come across me and thinks you're different. Because you have to understand that, you know, sometimes a guy can be genuinely interested all the time about being with an asexual. You know, it's something that's very different, and it completely stimulates them from then on. And other guys could just use it as a phase type of thing, you know, that, oh, I like the idea of being with an asexual because they're different, but they don't like the long-term commitment of no sex. You know what I mean? So you really have to work out where that person's coming from. I mean, obviously, if you take this guy at face value and what he says, you know, he's saying that he's not into sex crazy girls, full stop, you know. and he's more into kissing and doing touching and stuff than having intercourse. So, you know, if that's genuine, then that's all good and well, but we will have to see. So always keep your wits about you. Remember, there's a lot of people out there don't have a negative mindset, have an abundance mindset. You know, when one door closes, the other opens. If you think back, you know, like over the course of these videos, you know, like it was only about probably about 5 or 6 weeks ago now, was it, since I kissed an Indian guy. Then the Bangladeshi guy was only a couple of weeks ago, and then this guy's turned up, you know. So obviously the other 2 guys are out of my life, you know. So it's really important as well that, you know, that you sift through these people and that you get the wrong ones out of your life, because if you've got the wrong ones in your life, the right one's not going to come in your life. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's no good like me still being in contact with the Bangladeshi guy. I've blocked him. He's blocked on my phone, blocked on my Facebook, so he can't get hold of me again. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's really important that you block these people out that are no good for you, because you can't, you know, the right person's not going to come along for you if you're still holding on to these tortures for these other people that are wrong for you. You know, and he did seem like he's looking for more of a soulmate connection, because I remember him talking about soulmate. We even talked about religion. And he said, I think I'm like you, like I do believe in God, but I'm not strictly religious, and I am a bit like spiritual, like because I told him, because I was saying I'm very intuitive and I'm quite spiritual, and I can see things like happen before they happen, and I kind of like know things, like I can think, like for example, I can think like I want some orange juice right now, but I don't want to pay full price for it, you know, and I can go into a shop and there's the last like bottle of orange juice left, highly reduced. That happened to me before. Like the other day, I went into my local supermarket. It's like, I want rice noodles, but I don't want to pay full price for them. And there happened to be this packet of rice noodles in with a reduced section, which wasn't even reduced. And then I said, "Is this reduced?" Or just dumped in it. And the guy went off and got it reduced to like 27p for me. So you know what I mean? It's kind of those type of intuitive things. You know, it might not be big, huge things for a lot of people, but you know, it's like the other day when I was in the supermarket as well, I needed a 1p. I didn't really want to break into other change when I just needed 1p. And I was like, thinking, I've always got a 1p loose usually, but when you need one, you can't get one. And so I just looked at the ground, and then the till next to me happened to have a 5p piece. So I'm like, what are the odds of that? So I put the 5p piece in, and then I made 4p profit. Then I went round the corner because I forgot then I got a voucher come out for reduction of toothpaste. Was it reduction or points? No, I think it was 160 points, which is equivalent to 70 something p, I think. It was 160 points if you bought this toothpaste, but I needed this toothpaste. I forgot. I just about ran out. And so if I hadn't have had the voucher come out, it wouldn't have reminded me to get the toothpaste that I needed. I would have gone out the store forgetting that I needed. It's very set. It's a specific sensitive Colgate Sensitive Pro Relief with whitening. It's a very specific one, right? Like, what are the odds of a voucher coming out that's exactly for points on the exact product I want? Like, there's loads of toothpaste, right? It happened to be the one I wanted, and I would have walked out and forgot, so I had to go back in the shop again, round again, you know, and get the toothpaste and get the points on there. And then I found a 1p on the floor. I'm like, that's the 1p I needed before. So it's really, really funny, you know. So things like that happen to me, you know. It's like very intuitive, very like I need something and it happens to be there, happens to show up in my life. Like when I was walking Sam back to their hotel, and they went to the hotel, and then I went back to my place. There was a £10 note that was just literally on next to the pavement on the road. No one around, a beautiful £10 note, looked like just been taken out of a machine. It was laid there for me to pick up and have. Do you see what I mean? Like, this is law of attraction. If you're into law of attraction, like what you want and you think about can come into fruition, you know? And so you kind of like think of something. So sometimes my life can be like that. It kind of gets a bit freaky sometimes, but in other ways it's really good, because it's like, I want this. Oh yeah, here it appears. I want that. Oh yes, here it appears. And it's beautiful. You know, when you trust your intuition and your instincts and you just flow with it, it usually works out really well, you know. And obviously there's a reason why I met this guy. I mean, we've got very lots in common with the entrepreneurship and stuff like that. So, you know, I think there's a reason why I met this guy, you know, and he seems like he wants a soulmate more type of person. I picked that vibe up from him. So I just think we need to see where it goes. You know, maybe it'll just be a friendship. I don't know, because he wasn't pushing on the more romantic side. But he's, you know, I was happy that he wasn't a guy that was just like going kiss, kiss, kiss and all that, you know, like romantic stuff, when he's just like trying to be a friend to me, you know. Because I need to know that he's not going around doing that to other women. Because if he does that to me and puts kisses and hearts and everything like that, then he's just pretty much going to be doing it to all the other women. But he's not done anything like that. You know, he just says, oh, I hope you have a good night and stuff like that, with smileys and stuff like that. I mean, from a romantic point of view, yeah, I love all the romantic emoji hearts and everything like that. Do you know what I mean? But as it is at the moment, I've just met him. I think it's good, because he was doing that with me. I was just saying, oh, you're just doing it with every woman. You're just like hearting every woman. But when I've looked at him on his Facebook page as well, he's not really going around like saying stuff to loads of women. You know, like the women are just like, if they're commenting, it's more of a formal way. Do you know what I mean? He's got a lot of likes. He's a popular guy, but it's like, it's not like it's highly sexually driven. Like his Facebook page profile doesn't come across as sexually driven. Comes across as a good looking guy, and he probably gets a lot of women interested in his looks, but it doesn't come across as though he's flaunting himself like in a really bad way like that. It comes across more business focused. So I just think, you know, you pay attention to all these things. You know, obviously, if, you know, a person's friends with you on Facebook as well, they, you know, they got their friends on public, you know, they haven't really got anything to hide like that, which is another good thing. So I think this guy's got his friends on public. I mean, you know, like, I know he's got his, as far as I remember, he's got his friends on public. So, let's see. He's got photographs, friends. Let's see if he's got friends on public or not. Aha. No, he's got no friends on public. So I didn't check that before, but I've checked it now. Aha. So yeah, he's got no friends on public. So that is a bit dodgy. So I didn't check that before. I thought I'd better just check that now. Because, you know what I mean? People who haven't got their friends on public, it's a bit like, especially when you're friends, because I'm now friends with this person. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. So they haven't got their friends on public. So that is interesting, because I prefer a guy who's got his friends on public, really. Do you know what I mean? To see if he's got all women friends. So I can't see that. I can't tell that from this thing. So the only thing you can do with a profile like that, just some advice, you can go through and see who's liked what. Do you know what I mean? And if you find out that it's nearly all women that's like the stuff, then, but obviously, I mean, I guess liking animals and that is more of a female thing anyway, maybe. Do you know what I mean? So he's got a heart, a woman who's sending heart kisses to him, but that might be because it's got 2 deer on his page. Do you know what I mean? So I think you've got to, yeah, so that's what you've got to do. You've got to go through there. Oh yeah, they're loving the picture, because he's not in the picture. It's got loads of shares as well. So I think it's best if you go through this and see how many of them are women and how many of them are guys. Then you can actually tell. So even if they haven't got their friends on public, which I don't actually like that. I like a guy to put his friends on public. If they haven't got their friends on public, can be a little bit dodgy, because it can be like they're covering up the fact that nearly all their friends are women. And you've got to ask the question, like, why? Do you know what I mean? Like, I have got, like, predominantly offline, most of my friends are guys, but like I don't have tons of friends. Like my close friends are guys, but on Facebook I do still have quite a lot of women in my friends list, not just guys. Do you know what I mean? So like it's really so the way you find out about what friends they've got is you go and you see who's liked their post. You click through the likes, and then it'll come up with a list of people who've liked that post. Then you can see how many is women and how many, you know, is guys. And then if they're mostly women, then you know most of the people on his friends list are women. Do you know what I mean? And so this looks like the majority of them are. There's one guy there, but I think there's another guy. 3 guys. 3 guys. 3 guys. I think that's a guy as well. Yeah, so basically, you know, what you can do is then you can click through their friends and see what their friends have got, because, you know, like when you can tell what a person's like sometimes by the people they associate with. So like obviously check out their pages, what type of pages they like. Have they liked pages in keeping with their hobbies and interests that they say they like? into, you know, because I'm saying all this for your own safety, and like you know, like, because it's very important that an asexual person gets with a genuine sexual person if they're considering a sexual. You know, like normally I wouldn't recommend being with a sexual person, but obviously Eddie's sexual and with an asexual, so it is possible. But overall, I wouldn't usually recommend it because I think it's very difficult for it to work. But I do believe, you know, that it can work in certain instances, right? So, you know, I don't like the fact he hasn't got his female, you know, he hasn't got his friends on. There's another guy there. There's another guy actually. So he has got some guys. I'd say predominantly it's mostly women, but he has got some guys. Yeah, predominantly these are women. So yeah, I think you have to like really do that. I mean, I have my profile on public, right? I am in who summoned you? Oh, thank you, Eddie. So, you know, some you know, you've got to be very careful with some from sexuals, like if they got, like I said, who've got their friends on private, because you know what I mean, what are they hiding? Like, why do they need to hide their friends? Like, especially if this guy's a business guy, like I do business, and my Facebook profile is on public because I want people to know about my business. I don't you know, mind if it's someone who's got nothing to do with me personally, because I'm genuinely want people to know. And so, like, kind of, I've got nothing to hide, and I'm quite happy for people to know who's on my friends list. Do you know what I mean? And when you become friends with someone, then there's no real reason for them not to show you their friends because they've accepted you as their friend. Do you see what I mean? So it's kind of like a little bit like, why are they hiding all these friends? But it might be because, you know, there are some guys on here. It's not all women, but, you know, there's like 3 guys in a row there, you know, so there are. But, you know, like what you can do then is you can click through all these people, requires spending you some time doing it, and click through these people and see if these people are sex type of people or if they're genuine business people. Do you know what I mean? Because if he's mostly got friends on there, they're going to be women that are into sex and doing sex stuff, then you know he's not completely genuine. Because if he's saying he's yeah, I have pals on private, but they are all married, family all taken, boyfriend, girlfriend. So you have your friends on private, do you? That's interesting, Eddie. That's very interesting. But when you say you have pals on private, are they private when you've got friends on Facebook? So if you've got friends, if you've got people that a person that's become a friend of you on Facebook, can they not see your friends then? Are they still on private then? Because one asexual guy, actual asexual guy, he and me are friends on Facebook, but when I wasn't friends with him, he had his friends on private. But when I became friends with him, yeah, exactly, they can see. So I'm now friends with this guy, but I can't see his friends. Do you see what I'm saying? I can see who's liked his post, but I can't see his friends list. So with the asexual guy friend, I couldn't see who he got on his friends list until I became friends with him. But then I can see them. But with this guy, I can't see them still. So he's literally not. Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah, that is a bit of a red flag. A bit. Personally, for me, stone him only way. Oh, bless. Well, you know, like, you know, I do know that some people do prefer to have things like that private, but I don't, you know, I don't totally get it, you know, because it's like, why? Usually it's because, do you know what I mean? They don't want people to know, but, you know, I mean, at the moment, I don't see, you know, I'd have to click through all these people, but, you know, to see if they're genuine. They look genuine people, actually. They're into animals, older people, some of them as well. So, and they're sharing his post by the look of it. So, yeah. But then he didn't ask how old I was, which was interesting. My girl hates Facebook and refuses to make a profile. That's really interesting. I mean, there are a few people that don't use Facebook. I only have 18 friends, yeah. But this guy has a lot. I mean, this guy's got one post, 170 people, I think it's like 140 people, sorry, it's like this post. So obviously he's got a lot of friends. So I can see I see their comments, but I can't actually see. But they've shared 498 shares. It's a lot. But it is a very, very cute picture. I mean, in terms of business, you know, he's done a really good job. Do you know what I mean? A really good job. And they're, you know, it's just of animals. So they're not liking pictures of him, they're liking pictures of animals. But it's very interesting to see. But his predominant audience might be female. 140, what a show off. But do you know what I mean? His core target market might be women, because I guess there's going to be more women vegans than there is guys. I'm guessing, in theory. I don't know the vegan market, but I'm guessing there's going to be more women that are worried about animals. Sam, I have 38 friends, exactly. You know, but I mean, this guy is a business guy. Like, I'm into business, so I've got, but I do, you know, I've still got under 1,000. I don't know how many I've got at the moment. Under 900. Only, thank you for the follow on Twitter, by the way. Did I follow you on Twitter? Oh, I know I followed people back. Was that on my asexualize? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think I did actually. That's right. Because I saw you come up there. That's right. Yes. And you actually went on my website and said something. Oh, you did message me. Did you message me? Oh, right. Okay. On Twitter, was it? I know I spoke to you on Facebook, but on Twitter, I haven't been on Twitter directly. I was on there late in the early hours of this morning, but I haven't been on there since because I'm not always on Twitter. I've been very busy today doing blog posts. Yeah, I'm kind of a bit sleepy tonight, actually. I've got loads of work to do. I didn't get everything done that I wanted to do today, but I wanted to talk to this guy because it was just like an opportunity. Sometimes you've got to take opportunities. Oh, well, thank you for your message on Twitter. I know you went on my website and I hadn't replied there, and went in the chat bubble and said you're looking for information, but I'd spoken to you on Facebook after that, so I didn't actually respond to that. But yeah, I've been off. Like, I kind of go offline a bit during the day. I try to get work done, otherwise I don't get anything done because I get people messaging me all over the place. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, by email sometimes. And it's like, you know, I haven't got time to think sometimes. So, but I've been doing website stuff today, so blog stuff and that. Excuse me. I'm hiccuping because I ate my food quickly before I came on here. So yeah, I think maybe his target market is actually women. I would guess. I would absolutely guess. So, but yeah, it's interesting that there still seems to be a lot more females, but they don't seem to be bad, a lot of them. There's no, like, you know, these people aren't going around like actually being, you know, full of sex. I mean, some of these are, that's a guy. That's a guy. That one's female. You know, but, you know, I mean, I get loads of sexual guys after me, but I'm not. But a lot of these are for animal rights. So, so yeah, a lot of these are for animal rights. So, you know, it's good that he's into caring about animals. I do like that about him. I do really like that about him, you know. I think it's good. I think he's got a beautiful voice as well. So, you know, I think it's interesting, but obviously I haven't you know, I haven't seen all his posts, but it looks like a lot of it's, you know, vegan activism, which is good, you know. He hasn't got blimmin' loads of pictures of his top off and don't I look great. Do you know what I mean? It's more interesting caring about animals and himself in that way. So I think that's really, really good. Really, really good thing about him. So yeah, I have to see how it goes. So, you know, these are some of the sort of traits you need to look out for. Like, you know, I personally don't like it when they've got their friends on private when you're friends with them. Because I just think it's something like, why do they need to cover their friends up? Why? It's a bit weird. So that's kind of like something that I think is a bit strange. But, you know, maybe he's got a genuine reason for it. I don't know. It just seems weird. It's like, well, why wouldn't you want friends to know who your other friends are? Just seems a very bizarre way of being, but, you know, very bizarre. And all the guys that I've known who've done that are usually dodgy guys that are into women, quite a lot. So you know, you got to be cautious of that and careful. But your girl hates Facebook. Yeah, I can understand why. I can understand why. I mean, I personally like a guy to be on Facebook because I learn a lot more about him, because he usually shows his true colours on Facebook. I've caught so many guys, so many sexual guys out like that. I've caught so many out, you know, when they're saying one thing to me and they're doing another on their Facebook profile. They're just lying. And I've worked out very quickly from seeing that. So I think it's really important to notice these things. Yeah. Really important to notice these things. Anyway, that's going to conclude tonight's live stream, the old MySpace days. That's going to conclude tonight's live stream. Unless you've got any questions, comments, queries, want to know any more information, these are some of the signs you need to look out for to find out whether the person's a genuine person or not. Obviously, you have to continue to look out for in the future, like, do they carry on talking to you? Does their words match what they've previously said to you? Are they saying they're not interested in sex crazy women, but then they're going off liking loads of sex crazy pictures and, do you know what I mean? And commenting on women with their boobs hanging out. Clearly they're lying then. Do you know what I mean? So you need to look out for all these things. MySpace, that takes me back, laugh out loud. So, you know, like, obviously a hetero, like Eddie's heterosexual and can be with an asexual girl, but it takes a special person to be able to do that. You know, it takes a very special guy to be able to do that, you know? So I have to see how this guy's going to be. He did seem genuine. He did seem really nice. He did seem like he was more interested than just physicality. You know, like, obviously he's into making out and I'm not fully into that. I'm Dan Awesome. We all know it. You must love coming on this channel, Eddie, because I was saying how great you are. That you're not asexual, but you're with an asexual. So, yeah, you get a lot of praise on this channel. Like, not like the Tumblr experience you had. It must be the opposite coming on here. You must be like, oh my God, quick, I should have come on this channel sooner. But yeah, if you've messaged me on Twitter, sorry I haven't got back to you on there. Like, probably after my stream tonight, I'll be going and having some sleep. You enjoy the chats and the people. Oh, that's great, you know, because I didn't get much sleep. I was up till 5:30 this morning doing work. So, well, some people, because I am sexual, won't talk to me, I guess. Oh yeah, I guess, but I'm not like that type of person, you know. It's like this guy, you know, he seemed to be genuine. You don't know. Yeah, I think some people might be like that, but Tumblr, I think, is quite clicky from what I've heard. Like, I don't go on there, but I've heard it's quite clicky and stuff, and I just don't. I'm on. That's why I haven't replied to your message. I don't go on Twitter that much. I was on there last night putting a new header on in the early hours this morning, but I haven't really been on there, you know, because I like if I could be on social media all day, every single minute of the day, but then I don't get anything done. Like today, my intention was to do some blog posts, publish the fact of this channel's now a chat show, make sure everyone's aware of that, not just an ordinary asexual. Like, I'm now saying this is the world's first asexuality chat show, which is what it's developed into. That wasn't what it started out as, but it's really good, you know, that was like a late night chat show specifically for asexuals. It's the first one the world's ever known. Do you know what I mean? I actually don't know of anyone else live streaming every single day. I don't know anyone on any channel doing live streaming every single day. They do post videos every day, but not live stream. They pre-record them, edit them. So, you know, I think that's something really good about this channel for everyone who partakes and joins in the chat. So I've been trying to I was redoing my Facebook headers yesterday, redoing my Twitter header. I redone the header on YouTube today. You know, the here. So, you know, I was really intending to do blog posts and like get everything out. You know, like I've done one blog post, you know, that wasn't my intention. I've got other work to do today. So I'll probably have to scoot offline and get it all done. Otherwise I've got loads of video editing to do, which I was supposed to do over the weekend. But instead I just, you know, like when your intuition takes over, it's like, oh, you just need to do this because I need to, you know, I want more people to be on the chat in here because they don't know about the chat show, then they can't come on it. But I have been getting more people come on it now. They know this show's here. So hopefully, yeah, that's their loss, Eddie. I agree, Sam. It is their loss, and it does help to have a sexual person in the chat as well. I think, you know, I think it does help. You know, it's good that, you know, especially when loads of people are like, oh, it can never be done. A sexual person can never be an asexual. And I did believe that quite a lot myself, and I do think it's still very difficult, because I think, you know, there's a lot of sexual guys out there that aren't genuine, that really can't live without sex. There's a lot of them, especially in those sexual dating groups I'm in, you know. That's, I mean, one guy commented about how, you know, like, boring it is not having sex. And I'm like thinking, actually, where was he? He was in the singles group. And I was thinking, yeah, but actually it's the opposite. You know, it's actually the opposite of, like, the fact, I can't remember where it was. But it was in the singles group again. Oh, see, I told you my post is so popular. It's got 64 now, 64 reactions, you know, in that group. It's really funny. I told you mine's getting really popular. It's really funny. And so, you know, like, this one guy, oh yeah, this is it. I'm gonna swear because he's swearing. He's going, oh, no sex or relationship. That's fucking boring, isn't it? But at the end of the day, I didn't say no sex or relationship. I said no sex in a relationship. But you said no sex or relationship. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, and that's what the guy in the message said, that he didn't agree with that. The guy who was interested in me, who I spoke to on the phone via Facebook, he said, you know, he thought that guy was wrong. I mean, I actually find it the opposite. I found that when I did have sex, it was very boring, you know, most of the time. You know, like with my last heterosexual ex, he made it more interesting because he would do different positions. I just let him get on with it or whatever. But you know, I've never been that interested in it, full stop, you know. And, you know, like, I find it more boring just doing the sex. I don't think there's anything interesting about a guy sticking his bit in a woman. I don't think that's interesting at all. What interest is that? It's just not interesting. I found that boring. You know, I find the kissing and the sensuality and the stroking of the hair and the face, that's just like that type of thing. I think that's so much more you know, softer, gentle, you know, sensual, really loving and caring. You know, I prefer all the kissing and the stroking of the guy's hair and the stroking of the guy's face and his lips. I find all this type of stuff, you know, like, actually loving the person, because you can feel their cheeks, you can feel their little cute nose, you can feel their hair, like the face. I'm very into the face and the shoulders on a guy, you know, more than anything. Especially not interested in below the waist. Do you know what I mean? I've never been interested enough to try it. The whole sex thing sounds boring to me. It's good you're like that, Sam. It's good you're like that. It's really good. I'm glad you're saying that as well. You know, it's really important. But it is, I mean, I don't understand why people like it, sex, that much. I really don't. Even though I've had it, I just don't get it. It's kind of like, I can understand the foreplay, I can understand the kissing, I can even understand the touching, because I guess it turns them on and they get some sort of sexual thing out of it. But I mean, especially for a female, I don't really think sex does much for many females. I mean, obviously, I've got some heterosexual female friends. I know I had one, and she was highly sexually driven, and she loved sex because it made her orgasm, and she felt great about it. But, you know, a lot of the time it doesn't even hit the right spot for the woman. Sex is a way of sharing energy, but not the only way to do it. Sharing energy, that's a very interesting concept. That's quite a spiritual concept, actually, I think. But yeah. Yeah, I just like, yeah, I like all the kissing and cuddling and being really super close with clothes on without the sex. I find that much more stimulating and arousing and exciting, if I'm honest. Although lately I haven't been aroused by much, to be honest, but I do find that much more better, you know, much more sensual. You know, I'm sensual with the upper part of the body, not with the lower part of the body on a guy. But yeah, I don't really understand the big deal. I've never understood the big deal, you know. It's just like, I mean, I have been with 5 guys, and I have to say the other 4 were very boring. They're just sex. There's nothing to it. It's just boring. This is so boring. 4 out of 5 was so boring. But I don't think a lot of guys know how to give good sex, to be honest, when they do it. I just think they have a clue, you know, because they just stick it in guys. No woman, not even a sexual woman, really likes consistent guys that just stick it in. It just gets boring for them, which is why most of them don't even give them a second date. It's like, is that the best you can do? Fine, off I go. But yeah, so But yeah, I mean, I don't associate sex with love either. I never have done. I've never associated sex with love. I've always like, I did explain this to the guy that sex, sexual attraction, arousal, romantic attraction. I told this guy, because I said I get a lot of attractions, like romantic, aesthetic, intelligence attraction, creative attraction, clothes attraction. So aesthetic and romantic, spiritual attraction. I get loads of types of attraction, but I don't experience sexual attraction, and I don't experience platonic attraction, which means that I do end up being attracted to my friends in some way, which I was honest and told him that. But I don't, I can't be in a relationship with a guy or person, that's not suitable for me. So it doesn't matter if I'm a bit attracted to them, either, like an aesthetic or romantic. But I told him that, the person who I'd want to be with in a relationship, I would have to be aesthetically and at least aesthetically and romantically attracted to them. But I like the fact this guy's very intelligent and creative. I do like that. That makes him more attractive to me, because like I don't get because I like, as an asexual person, I'm not sexually attracted. I don't have the sexual attraction binding anything together, binding any sort of attraction to a guy. For me, it means I focus on the other things, like like how much we have in common, like whether or not the guy's going to be intelligent enough to have conversations with. If I'm not having a sexual relationship with the guy, I don't want to be sat there being bored out of my brain because I got nothing to talk to him about, because he's not a very intelligent guy and he just answers questions very bluntly and quickly and doesn't explore situations. Do you know what I mean? In the past, I was all sex, but for lust. I thought it was love, but again, I was young and foolish. I seen love here in what I have now, and I've never been happier. That is really good. That is really good, Eddie. Especially that you admit that too. It's really good. A lot of the time, I think sex is lust. I don't think it's love at all. And I think people that go into relationships with sexual attraction being at the forefront, all the chemicals flying around, eventually, like when that dies down, you end up having not much in common and you get bored. Like, it's like, what is there to bind you together? Let's have some more sex because we can't think of anything else to do together. It is great, Sam. It's really great. You've like completely turned your life around, Eddie. It's really wonderful. And it's good that you can see like asexual love is really amazing. It's really incredible. I love being asexual. I wouldn't want to be heterosexual. Some people are like, ask the question, so if you could be sexual, would you? And a lot of asexuals are like, oh yeah, I'd love to be normal. And it's like, well, sorry, I've got something in my eyes, probably my hair that I've got to cut. But I'm like, well, I wouldn't want to be heterosexual. I really genuinely wouldn't want to be heterosexual because I don't like sex. I wouldn't want to be a person who's into sex because I'm not into it. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. So why would I want to make myself something where I genuinely don't like it in the first place? Do you know what I mean? Like people, like I think people have different likes and dislikes, and I think it's okay to not like sex and want it. What the fuck is normal? We are all unique and wonderful beings. Exactly, Eddie. What is normal these days? Not much. Sam, I've never been normal. I haven't been normal. I love not being normal. Like when someone in my old job, they were like, "Oh, you're not normal." I said, "Thank you very much," and they were just like totally shocked. I said, "I don't want to be normal. If anyone says to me, you're like other girls, that's one of the worst things that really annoys me." So actually, I'm not like other girls because I'm not normal. So really, really it's probably one of the few things that really wind me up if someone goes, "Oh, you're normal," like other girls and stuff. That really grinds me because I'm very much not like other women. I got some male traits for a start, and I'm very much like, I don't sit down painting my nails and having plaster in my face with makeup. As you can clearly see, I don't wear makeup. I mean, I do a lot of my half of my live streams at least is in my pajamas. I got my dressing gown on. I'm not worried about what I look like. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to wear sexy underwear or some top with my boobs hanging out. Do you know what I mean? I'm just got a like Disney cover on there, and like I've got cuddly toys for goodness sake and sparkly things. I'm not interested in having people come on my channel just to like gawk at my boobs or whatever, or see how much makeup I've got on my lips. And it's just ridiculous. I'm not like women, like not like other women at all. And the right guy won't say stuff like that to me. The right guy will be like, see my uniqueness. streaming in comfort. Exactly, you know, I stream like I'm, you know, in your room with you, you know. It's like, you know, I often wear pajamas, you know, I feel comfortable, you know. After time, you know, I would just, whatever I'm in, I just like wear, do you know what I mean? It's good, you know, just chilling out in the home, you know, because this is like vlogging, do you know what I mean? Like we're having a chat, like a real chat show, you know, that's like true and authentic, you know. There's one guy who's an entrepreneur. He specifically is in his pajamas all the time. It's part of his marketing. Huh. It's more open and genuine. Thanks, Sam. Eddie, not in my room. My girl would get jealous. Oh, yeah, not in your room directly. Exactly. Do you know what I mean? But it's like being in people's homes with them, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, the TV screen's in the person's home or room. But yeah, Sam, it's more open and genuine. Yeah, I like to be open and genuine, you know. I like to, this is like a vlog style. Vlogging, you know, is like video blogging, you know. And, you know, like, and people are all about the perfect, the lazy affiliate marketer. Oh, you've seen him, have you, Eddie? Yeah, he's known as the lazy affiliate marketer. Have you seen him? I forget his channel now. I bought some stuff from him actually. I haven't even watched yet. But yeah, he is a lazy affiliate marketer. He's really, really good. He doesn't just do. I tried all that stuff. Did you? Wow, that's interesting. That's really, really interesting. I mean, I do some affiliate marketing, and I've actually made some progress with it, which is good. So if you get the right target market and you get the right products, it can work. You know, I've got some money from that now that I get in regularly every few months. It's not loads, but it's some, and it's far more than I was getting before. So I actually, like, you know, actually got something back from that. So, you know, but you have to have like the right target market, and you have to have people that will buy stuff. I got reoccurring affiliate commission, not to do with asexuality, to do with business stuff. It's not to do with asexual stuff, that I get the regular commission from. I am an affiliate for Amazon, so if people click through my book links and they buy my book within a certain amount of time, then I can get compensated for it. But with Amazon affiliates, it's a lot harder to make money, really, because the commission's so low on it, and it's like little tiny bits. Do you know what I mean? That you have to take months. Or my first affiliate check, I think, took me like since 2015 to get, and I got it. Was it this year, beginning of this year or something? It was like a very, very, very long time. It's like, you know, years. But you know, this other company that I'm with, from this year, I started earning some affiliate commissions every 3 months. I get a bit money paid out on that, so it's good, you know. It's like for my business, like, you know, it's like a couple of £100 for my business. So, you know, it's good, really. You know, that's not loads, but it's, you know, 200 quid that I wouldn't usually have, which can pay for some of my domains, because I've got so many domains and website hosting. Do you know what I mean? So I wasn't getting that before. It would have been more, but the trouble is the company decided to do a deal, a special deal, which is like a one-time deal. So I lost 2 or 3 recurring commissions because of that. So in other words, they were getting more money from the customers before, because they did a lifetime deal. I know this is going off the beaten track now of asexuality, but because they did a lifetime deal, those customers went over to that. And it's like, that's crazy. So actually the company made lost money on that, but they gained other customers because of the deal they were doing. So yeah, so affiliate marketing can work. I mean, like every 3 months I get paid out money, which equates to like 200, just over £200 a year, which, like I said, isn't like it would have been like over 300, I think, before. I think it would have been over 300 or around 300, because I had 2 or 3 other people, but the other 2 were on business plans. So there was a lot more money to cover then. So I think it would have been more like 300 a year. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you know, so basically it can work. Affiliate marketing can actually work, as long as you've got a popular product that people want and need. Because obviously, you know, some people cancel when they don't need what they've bought into, and they have the right to cancel. So then you lose that money. And it's good, you know, if you get reoccurring affiliate commissions rather than one-off, which is what I've got with this company. So, you know, affiliate marketing can work. So I found something that does work, making money online. So it is true. But, you know, like you've got to have like the right target market, the right audience, and for them to really want the product and use it as well. So I've gone really off the beaten track here, but I am into business stuff. I am into entrepreneurship, and I do talk a lot, mention that quite a lot. So, and there is a way I can make money online now as well, which I'm really good at, which I'm going to be bringing a course out next year for that. So, which I probably will talk about for asexuals, because a lot of asexuals, actually, they work from home. A lot of asexuals do, because we kind of go against the norm of society. And that a lot of asexuals don't actually get on with their bosses. I've noticed a reoccurring pattern. A lot of asexuals need to work from home. A lot have got mental health problems, so they can't really work for an employer. And a lot of people asexuals don't like the establishment. Do you know what I mean? We don't fit in. There's something different about us. It's clear that when you go into some jobs, that there's something different about you. You don't fit in. You don't want to follow the crowd. You don't want to be like everyone else. You don't want to be a robot. And so a lot of people do need to work from home. So yeah, I found a way of making money online from home that's to get extra cash. So I'll be bringing that course out next year. That's one of my businesses I've got coming out. I'm really looking forward to it, because it's something that everyone needs to know. And I expect there probably will be quite a few asexuals that are interested in that, because once they've gained the course will be one they need to pay for, but it'll be a really good offer in the beginning. And once they've got those skills, they've got them for life. So they don't need, so they'll have them. And there's going to be a money back guarantee. And I know that I can make money out of this. I know the skills. I've got a formula, because I've been trained in it's physical products, not actually like digital products. I've been trained in physical product selling for 19 years in my previous life. Yeah, so a lot. I've got a lot of years of experience in that, and I've made I used to learn selling techniques, like a 6-step selling formula that I learned on my trainer. I've had extensive training, and I've adapted that to this particular place that I sell stuff, and it works. I've developed a formula and honed it down, and got add-on sales I can get and everything. It's really good. I'm very good at doing it. Very, very good. I got really good feedback from customers as well. So I will be doing that, and I will post that in my asexual group. So I can give you the link to it when it comes out, in case you are interested in it, because you might, if you're interested in making money online and stuff from home, it's a way of, I'm not promising riches, but it's just extra spare cash, that you can put for a holiday or asexual meetup. Well, in your case, obviously, you won't be going to an asexual meetup unless they have partners going there. But you know what I mean? Like, people can use it to pay for food, help to pay bills. Like, it's not guaranteed income regularly. It's not reoccurring, like, set money. It's what you do with it, how much effort you put into it, and what you've got to sell, and how popular the items are. But I go through all the items that sell for me and stuff like that. So I got that coming out next year. It's going to be really good. I'm really looking forward to that, because I know once I teach the people the skills, as long as they implement everything I say in exactly the way I say it, and they set up themselves up properly, I know they'll earn money, or they can, there'll be a money back guarantee. And once you've learnt those skills, you've got them for life. Some people make full-time businesses out of the thing I do. I'm not doing it as a full-time business. I make that clear from the beginning. But I know someone on YouTube that does it full-time. That's their business. But they've got bigger premises. I live in a rented accommodation. I haven't got premises that I would need to go full and out into the sort of like big stuff, to hold kind of all the stock that they do. But I think everyone in this day and age, especially because there are a lot of redundancies being made, people losing their jobs and stuff, I think it's just a skill that everyone needs to have. And I certainly think it's a skill that lots of asexuals could do with, because when they do need cash from home, it's just a way of topping up that money. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying it's to replace an income. I'm saying it's to top it up, or, like when you need, there's lots of asexuals that do go to asexual meetups, or there's some that don't, because they say, I can't afford an asexual meetup. So if you do this course, learn the skills to get money together for a meetup, you can then travel to the meetup, can't you? Do you know what I mean? There isn't any excuses. And so, and it's helping people out. Like, when I sell these products, I'm like helping them, because it's stuff they want and stuff I don't need anymore. So it's a really, really, really good thing. I feel good. Like, I feel like they're getting something useful, something they can use, something they like, something they want, whereas I'm not really using that thing anymore and having a need for it, really. And you learn more about art of detachment, decluttering, and all that type of thing. It's really good. I'm really passionate about that, as you can tell. So I'm looking forward to that new business coming out next year, which will be amazing. I do think people should get it because I know the price will be very good as well when it first comes out. You know, for the skills you'll learn for life, it's going to be a very, very good price. You know, so I just like really happy about that. I'm really happy about my brands coming out actually, especially obviously I'm doing this channel more now, so you know, like really putting my tongue where my mouth is and saying this is an asexuality live chat show now late night, because I've been advertising that. I've been getting far more since I advertised it, like in the last 48 hours I've been getting far more people subscribing and coming on this channel and in the chat and stuff. So it's nice because I'm attracting more and more people now, because I thought, you know, it's about time I changed my headers and stuff to say what this channel's more about, because it, you know, I do a lot of personal growth stuff as well, you know, as well as dating and relationships, and I haven't really advertised that as much, but I have now, so it's kind of everywhere. So I've got some more places to post it, but I'm really looking forward to, like, you know, what's coming up next year, you know. Yeah, because I've got the asexual meetup mastery course I'm currently working on that I was hoping to finish this weekend, but I've had to well, at least do a bulk of it, but I've ended up promoting this channel more because I just think, you know, like I've got my asexual guide to sex book coming out next year, which I'm really passionate about, and I'll have other asexual books coming, so I really need this channel to become even more popular for people to know about my books. They can spread the awareness of them as well, and just genuinely, you know, like help each other out. I think it's good, you know. I think if I was a asexual person, didn't know this channel existed, I want to know about it. I don't think enough people know about it, so that's why I want to spread awareness a lot more, you know. So if you do have any friends that you think might like this channel, you know, direct them to it. You know, you can just give them the asexualize my asexual life link after YouTube. You know, you know, if you don't want to give them the specific video share, you can just direct them to my channel, because I think it's really good. You know, like I watch a lot of type of videos that I'm doing for you guys, and I know that I'm like watching them intently for a long time as well. So yeah, so I've completely digressed, but it is kind of relevant because this guy's into business. So I do really want to be in a relationship. I'm going to be in a relationship with a guy who's into business and entrepreneurship and stuff like that, because I think when you're thinking about potential relationship, you need to be with someone who's got stuff in common, a very similar mindset. You know, I want a guy who's going to want to develop and grow himself and support me in my own development and growth. Do you know what I mean? In my own business stuff, you know, having a guy who's not living his passion and purpose, you know, they're not really like to support you, because they're going to be thinking, well, they're going to have more of a laid back, don't know what I'm doing attitude, not really on the ball. You know, when you've got someone who's really focused on living their passion and dream, you know, you kind of like got that thing in common where you're both driving each other, you're both motivating each other. I know when me and Sam have conversations, sometimes Sam's like, oh, I've done this, that and the other tonight, and I you know, if I've had a good day, I'll be like, oh yeah, my day's been really productive too. And it's kind of an energy. I feel like me and Sam have an energy sometimes when we talk about our projects and work we do, because it's kind of like we feed off each other. I think like Sam's like, oh, I've done this, and I'm like, I've done this, and you know, I feel like I've done a lot with my, you know, getting my asexual channel where I know, but I haven't done the video editing I wanted to do, and I really need to do it before the new year. And I'm going to my parents' New Year's Eve, so I better get a shift on with that. But yeah, it's been lovely to talk to you anyway. I think, you know, I think we've covered a lot. Yeah, so I think when you do, you know, like make sure that if you are looking for a relationship, you think about long-term stuff, not just the short term. Because I told the guy as well that I don't want kids and I'm not into marriage. I told him that from a romantic point of view and commitment point of view, I like marriage, but not the actual idea of it, because I'm not a housewifey type of person, even though my parents have been married 50 years. So I thought I'd let you know now, I don't want children. I am the kid on purpose. So yeah, I thought it was really interesting, you know. Be interesting to see how it pans out, if it goes anywhere or if it doesn't. But you know, maybe we'll just be friends, I don't know. So I'll see how it goes, you know. Anyway, I think I'll love you and leave you for now. I really appreciate you being here. I want to give lots and lots of love to everyone in the stream tonight. I want to say thank you so much, Sam, for being on this channel. Thank you, Ray, for being here. Thank you, Eddie, of course, for being here. I know there was some other people. There was, I think it was John earlier. It was John, wasn't there? Thank you, John. Oh, Heather. Thank you so much, Heather, for being here. I always appreciate Heather as well, because there's two Johns. There's John Ditch and John Sidor. So Sidor. Is that how you pronounce your name? Yeah, so thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate you. And I'm going to conclude the video for tonight. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that great big bell icon to get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. Don't forget to keep embracing your quirky and each other's. Keep being beautiful, quirky you. And I'll see you on the next video or live stream. Thank you so much, Sam. Bye, Sandra, Ray, Eddie, and Heather, and anyone else who was on. Yeah. Bye, everyone else. And I love you. And take care. And thanks for being part of my community here. If you think anyone else will benefit from this channel, please share it with them. If you're interested in any of my books, you can click through the links below and check them out on Amazon. And if you're interested in my asexual blog or anything like that, all the links are down below. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, like I've already said, and hit the bell icon. Thumbs up, thumbs up. I really appreciate it. I've got 5 thumbs up so far. You are amazing, incredible. 5 big kisses for you and lots of love. Take care. I'll see you soon on the next video or live stream. Thanks for being part of my community, everyone. Lots of love. Bye. Have a good time. Have a good day. Bye.